his nose will pass Empire in the ratings this year. Albert, did you hear what someone said about Iggy's far-fetched story about punching out a 6'2" guy? That it was like Ivan Drago was inside that body and taking smoke breaks out there? That's from Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech.
Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech.
We got 1 minute. What you got?
I'm voting Bill Pullman because he weaved every stupid topic we touched on in one email.
Well, that he did, and he wasn't vile. That's the important point. I'm voting for a fellow by the name of Pullman. Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech.
Unbelievable, because that email was good, but it wasn't even close to as good as Timmy Tom Tom, man. But
we have short memories.
This is a democracy, and the old guys win out.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app.
Well, let's put our golf where our mouths are.
Now,
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM HD2. The Post Sports Bar and Grill presents Iggy's Drops of the Week.
When did you first stalk learn? Meat learn?
You hit that shuttlecock so hard. How did you get that point?
The hairless porpoise.
What is this, something deaky? Is it deaky?
Oh, I'm not talented.
You put that icing on there, boy?
That's a cock!
I thought I looked pretty.
You got the impression he was hitting on you, and you were welcoming his advances. Is that accurate?
I'm known for my patio.
How often are you, like, out in the town, like, perusing the young folk?
Go back to your thesaurus and look for something else.
Thesaurus.
What is a cock?
You can caddy for me. I did a little more talking. Well, I have it saved for what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it.
Be in my body.
Who's Ellen Foley?
You know, they all know who I am.
Oh, Iggy is not happy with the content as it doesn't involve him.
Well, you have a voice for radio, but you have a face for TV as well.
You smoke a lot? I guess not. Okay.
Well, supposedly she was a scout for Custard. I mean, Manning, I think his first 3 years, he was averaging 20 interceptions a game.
Huh?
We just had a child, so obviously I'm breastfeeding.
You don't hear many guys named Justin back in the days of Christ.
Boy, that's a big long john.
Then you just humiliate him.
This just really chaps your ass, doesn't it?
Oh, God, that sounds like a porn.
And this is how good I am. I have a design that I was hoping Polo would do at some point over the last 10 years.
Did you ever talk with Ralph Lauren?
No, but I talked to one of their reps, and I said, have you ever thought about this?
We got kicked squarely in the scrotal sack.
I'm an island boy, and yes, I'm an island boy, and I come an island boy, and we are island boy. That's all it is. The whole song is that.
I can sell you my old boy leggings.
I'm never nervous. I've helped a lot of people out in this industry. And speaking of sports, and I hate to get on this topic, but I met Gaga. I don't get nervous. I'm at Hubbard now. Look at me. I'm cool. No, I'm the same person.
Could you imagine greasing him up to get him out of the tub?
But step 2 is definitely light hand play.
I watched a documentary on Calamity Jane. I'm going to guess that she's very cute.
Hey, Duggar, how about a pick?
Because, you know, I'm a big Hugh Hefner fan. Balak, Baliak, Zaliak, Bazaliak, Bozaliak. Well, a lot of our listeners don't work.
Suck on this, Doug. Suck on this, Doug.
That was Iggy's Drops of the Week, presented by The Post. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
Selvin Vaughn, Action Jackson in for Kenneth Iggy Strode, who is ill, and the Plowhawk is on the ones and twos. Come, friends, gather around. Text into the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Call in for a Hookup Friday on St. Patrick's Day. We're going to connect listeners 636-9004-TMA or email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. And, Doug, look at Jackson. He wants to talk about the tournament.
He has his Cardinal baseball hat on. I thought I'd see some sort of Mizzou paraphernalia. No?
I don't have any Mizzou hats.
Well, why not?
I couldn't tell you.
None of us wore green either. I got dressed and forgot it was St. Patty's Day.
Can I pinch you? I guess I didn't wear green either.
Nobody did.
I don't have a piece on.
Okay. Tim, I assume you're wearing a green shirt.
I actually am not, and I'm kind of mad at myself.
Yeah, I could see.
Candidly, now I did put a green stud in that new nipple piercing I got on Wednesday,
counts.
so I guess that counts.
Sure.
An emerald.
When a gentleman gnaws upon it later on in the day.
Oh, you going private with someone?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll have a cocktail and take the edge off and watch more tournament. Doug, Missouri is going to the round of 32, and they're going to take on another set of Tigers, and it's Princeton.
Oh yeah, boy, they looked good yesterday. Once Kobe Brown gets to stroking it, he couldn't miss there in the second half.
Yeah, he's red hot. Second half, the last 10 minutes of the second half that was the peak that they played at yesterday.
Yeah. So you were pretty happy about this, no doubt.
Yeah, I was fired up. It was great to see, and I felt like the whole game they had Utah State out of rhythm, and it resulted. I eventually knew Mizzou would go on a run, and they absolutely did, and it was led by Kobe Brown.
Why did so many people try to tell us how dangerous Utah State was? How could you look at that team and say, yeah, they're favored to beat Missouri? Yeah, we know they're not ranked. We know they haven't beaten anybody, but hey, they come from a mid-major. Yeah, sure, they'll be a snootful. They weren't. They had nothing.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be such great three-point shooters. No,
they were not.
They didn't do anything that was very impressive.
Well, you saw the way that Missouri defended the three. I mean, they were out there the moment that the ball was out there beyond the arc. That was a huge part of Dennis Gates' game plan, and it executed it. And if I'm not mistaken, Jackson, Utah State didn't have a three in the first half. Is that right?
They did not. They did not hit. They hit a three, but it didn't count because the guy stepped out of bounds first. So, yeah, they had 0 threes in the first half.
Huh. Yeah, I just can't believe that team was favored to beat Missouri. Believe it or not, I hadn't seen.
Doug, I think that's a good observation. What I think happens is you have however many games in the first round, and when you include the first four, I guess that would be 36 if the math is correct. And you have a bunch of people talking about filling air, and it's even more so now with so many people having podcasts and social media, and people cannibalize takes. I want that to be the phrase of today. Cannibalize takes. And so you watch the initial coverage, and Jay Billis was taking Utah State. I felt like somebody else, Jack, talking about Utah State in the early on, right after the brackets were revealed.
People. I mean, all the experts, not all, but a lot of the experts were all over Utah State.
Even Tyler Hansbrough.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Well, he's not a big Missouri guy. That people cannibalize takes, and it just kind of they feed into each other, and so that's what I think plays a role in that. Because watching it, and maybe Utah State would say they didn't have a great game, but it got close at times, but Missouri was able to pull away, and I think those two teams played 10 times, and I think Missouri wins it 8 times.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Missouri's clearly the more athletic, faster team, and a lot of these games are a track meet now. It's just how fast can you get up and down the court?
Right, but I think.
But what a contrast in styles it's going to be Saturday at 5:10 when it's Tigers versus Tigers. Missouri against Princeton. Do you consider it a huge break that Princeton shocks the world, and just like Norfolk State did to Missouri in 2012 as a 15 seed, Arizona goes down at the hands of, as Charles Barkley called it, the smart kids in Princeton?
Yeah. Well, I know that a bunch of future investment bankers can put together one good game and beat Arizona. I don't know that they'll beat Missouri. I would think Missouri wouldn't have much trouble with them.
Well, see, and that's I guess the initial thought, but you have to respect a team if they're made a tournament, especially after beating, Arizona, a team like Arizona who's so big and powerful. I mean, they're a really good team. But if you would have asked me, 5 minutes after Mizzou beat Utah State, whether I'd rather play Arizona or Princeton, I would, like I said earlier or in the break or before the show, I would jump out the gym screaming, "I want to play Princeton."
Oh yeah.
So I think it's a solid break, but you gotta respect your opponent, Doug.
If the Zebras will put away the whistle, Missouri will be in good shape. Because I think I heard the stat that they lead everyone still in the tournament in steals this year.
Yeah.
They certainly led their conference in steals.
Yeah.
So if they can get away with playing a very physical pressure-type defense,
Yeah.
and a lot of times in the tournament they let them do that, then Missouri is a snootful to play.
I've always said Princeton's dangerous.
You've never said that.
Go Tigers.
Backdoor cuts left and right.
All right. Every time I see him, I think of Bill Bradley, the pride of Crystal City, who went to Princeton. Lit it up there. Almost took them to the national title when he was there. I think Bill Bradley was #1 overall pick in the NBA draft one year.
Let's find out.
I think that was the year Sam Bowie was picked #1 and then Jordan picked 2.
No, it's before that.
Bill Bradley is senator.
Look it up.
Yes, Senator Bill Bradley, New Jersey.
Plowhawk, would you like to issue a statement on the Fighting Illini's 2022-2023 campaign, which is no longer with us?
Yeah, dumpster fire. Throw it in the trash, man. Just absolutely. I shouldn't be surprised.
Were you crestfallen?
They average like 56 points a game in the last 4 tournament games. I shouldn't be surprised that they cannot shoot. Yeah, Brad Underwood should be on the hot seat.
Oh. First hot take. Was that a cannibalized take?
Well, look what he's doing. I mean, he does have the most Big Ten wins in the last 4 years, so tough to not justify the success. But, I mean, the whole deal of college basketball getting in the tournament, and I don't care about these little fluff wins in November and January. I'm just done with them.
Yeah.
So it's similar to like hockey season for me now, that I am zero interest in Illinois regular season basketball at this point because, they just shine this little thing on a pedestal and say, oh, hey, look at this, look at this cool toy, and then just absolutely just are trash when it matters. So
Well, don't get so down on your bunch.
Well, I'll have a lot more time to do things because I'm done with the tournament. I am crestfallen after that misery. I don't mind losing, but to do it that way I'm good.
A lot of pretty good teams go down in the first round. Virginia's out. We talked about Arizona.
Yeah, a lot of teams fire their coaches and get better after a first round.
Are you calling for heads?
Give me Ricky damn Pitino, baby. I don't care about this.
Ricky Pitino.
Look, Miller's still playing for Alabama. Beard just got hired at Ole Miss. It's Wild West in college athletics. I don't care. Give me Rick Pitino all day of the week. I'm just done with mediocrity. And Brad Underwood ain't recruiting these dudes. Our 3 amazing assistants are getting all these recruits. It's not like Brad Underwood is the sole recruiter.
What's happening in the background, Tim?
Hello?
Yes, what's going on back there?
My nurse is well, I tee off here in about 10 minutes in this event, and I'm trying to do the show for the first 20 minutes because poor Jackson, fresh off of his live stream, which Jackson, I mean, it was a 5-star success. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was super, super fun, and a lot of people were in there hanging out. It was great.
Really?
Yeah. Did the balloon party people come in? Once they saw Missouri won, they probably left.
I would have thought the same thing, but I had the highest number of people right at the end of the game when it was secure, with 30 seconds left. That's when it reached its peak.
How many were watching?
Yeah.
It peaked at 325 people.
Really?
Oh, you better not tell Ken that after his eight friends who gather every Wednesday.
That's like 2 months of cooking shows.
You better keep that information confidential. Anyway, I'm playing in a tournament. Doug, a member guest here. We played yesterday our first match, and we have 2 matches today, and they tee off, we tee off at 7:30, and then I don't know. I guess right after that, probably I don't know. I guess around 10:30 St. Louis time. And then I'll head over to right by where the Cardinal ballpark is, and I will enjoy some libations. So that is my game plan. But I wanted to join in the conversation before the festivities, as I'm taking today's program and balloon party off, and we'll be back on Monday. But I am so I mean, listen, as a Missouri guy, I'm happy for Missouri, but I'm so happy for Jackson. His love for the Tigers is so pure. And I know, Jackson, you were so emotionally leveraged that to get this win, and it's the first time they've won since, you were 11 or 12 in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And now, a real chance, a 6-point favorite to beat Princeton. The thing about Princeton, because I will have to go and just ball strike up a storm, is that Missouri, to me anyway, success comes from being able to run up and down the floor. And one of the top offenses to whatever the hell they wound up holding them to yesterday. But I know Arizona had a real tough time scoring in the final 10 minutes after getting an 11-point lead. And so as weird as it sounds, listen, if you give me a choice, Princeton or Arizona, I'll take Princeton all day long. But it is certainly, it might be the absolute prime kind of team that could cause Missouri problems. And, to lose to a 15 seed would color, I think, Missouri's season in a way for those on the outside to crap on it. So I could see that being the case. But with that said, at the very least, they've won a game in the NCAA tournament. They now have 25 wins. And if you would have given that, as your scenario in November and really even December, people would have taken it in an absolute heartbeat. And on the other side of things, they now are a 6-point favorite to get to the Sweet 16. That bracket, now has lost its number 4 seed with Virginia losing to Furman, and with who's the 3 seed? Arizona, excuse me. The 3 seed's still going. So, Missouri has a legitimate chance, truly legitimate chance. You got Baylor and Creighton above them in the bottom half of the South bracket, a legitimate chance to get to the Elite Eight. That's a real thing. And I don't know how many people were really, truly, you can fill out your bracket, but really, if you had to put material dollars on the line, who would have picked that? And now that's there. And that's incredibly exciting. That's all you can ask for as a fan, to have that shot. And they have that shot starting with a chance to get to the Sweet 16 for the first time, Doug, since 2009 tomorrow.
Jackson, will you be crestfallen with anything other than a national championship for these Tigers?
Yeah, I want it all, but you have to also be realistic, because if you are to go to the Elite Eight, it's more than likely you're going to see Alabama for the 3rd time. And in the first two matchups, we've proven to be ineffective against the Crimson Tide.
Well,
but it's March, and anything can happen. Like we said, Princeton and Furman and all these Cinderella teams who pull these upsets, they probably lose to the teams they're playing. They play 100 times, they probably lose 99 times.
Well,
98 in the high 90s they would lose, but anything can happen and anything can change. And so I think that this is the best opportunity they've had in a long time, and you got to take advantage of it. And I kind of see people being like, oh, well, Mizzou plays better as an underdog, and I think from bird's eye view they do, but they're 17-1 in games where they're favored. So the math also kind of tends to
they're better as an overdog.
Right. And then only 2 teams who have beaten a 2 seed, only 2 15 seeds who have beaten a 2 seed have advanced to the Sweet 16. Any guesses?
Only 2 teams.
Polls.
Yeah, one of them was last year, and another school I attended.
Wasn't it St. Peter's?
St. Peter's is 1.
Well, Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Gulf Coast is 2. So 10 teams have beaten the 2 seed as a 15 seed, and only 2 of them advanced to the next round.
Now, when Mizzou played Alabama in the SEC tournament, they were right with them until the last couple of minutes, and they shot horrendously in that game. If they shoot it all, they got a chance to win that one.
Sure, and the first game was
but
without
a big
Kobe
part of
Brown.
that is Alabama's size and their ability to defend you with that size. So it's not just a case of a team was cold with open looks. But with that said, hey, you get a chance to see a team for a 3rd time.
Hello. We lost him. We lost him.
Oh, no.
I hear the sound like he's at a bathhouse. Now he's back. Okay.
Like I got a bad signal. Either way, we're teeing off soon, and I haven't gotten loose. And my playing partner is Adam Long's father, Gordon Long, and he expects great things from me, and I can't let him down. We won our first match. You know who was in front of us yesterday?
Initials.
Anybody want to guess?
Initials.
BK. He
Arthur.
has ties to the Jupiter area. He is the father of a live golf player. The father of a live golf player.
BK. Bob Kramer? Bob Kramer was in front of you?
Benedict Keimer?
Good guess.
Martin Keimer?
Brooks Koepka's father. Koepka's father. Who is, if you've seen Full in the flattering episode about his son. So anyway, I will bid you adieu. I may chime in if we have time, and I know everybody wants to know how we do in this match. So I heard something there.
Yeah.
But Jackson, this is, fly like an eagle as you run like the prince that you are, and talk Missouri basketball, and get everybody fired up for tomorrow night against Princeton.
You bet, Tim. Hit him straight out there.
All right, Tim.
Hit him straight.
Yep. See you, boys.
All right, see yous.
I hate the tournament.
Why do you hate it? You wouldn't have hated it if Illinois had won.
Exactly. This is why.
Did you stop watching completely after they lost? No interest in any of it?
Well, I had no interest in the last two games of the evening, no. I don't think there's many. There's a couple good games today.
A lot of good games today.
I'm excited to watch Gonzaga.
Even games you think aren't going to be good sometimes are.
Did you think that Princeton, Arizona, or Furman and Virginia, that's the tournament? Anything? You're usually the 16 versus 1 seed. You can kind of mark that down as not going to be a great game. But any other game, totally out there. I thought Penn State, Texas A&M was going to be a game of the night, and Penn State rolled them.
It was a good day for the SEC. Texas A&M lost. Everybody else won, right?
Yeah. Tennessee won.
Arkansas
won. Auburn won. Yeah, really big day. I was riding hard for Tony Bennett and the Virginia Cavaliers, saying, people are going to tell you Furman's the play because Virginia loses in the first round. Don't believe that. And then I actually think Plowhawk, we have the call of it in the system. Of the end of the Furman and Virginia game. Virginia was up 2, about 10 seconds left.
Oh, yeah.
Full court press, and then this happens.
Hit the lever, Plowsy.
Well, you heard me.
With Cedric are the best free throw shooters. Clark in a straight jacket. He didn't need to do that. He threw it away. Payne, Pegues. Furman leads. Timeout, Virginia. Did we just see what we think we just saw? Wow!
Well, you couldn't tell what happened on that call.
All right, I'll explain it. Virginia caught it, was kind of cornered in a full court press.
Just trying to run out the clock.
Just trying to run out the clock. Just trying to get fouled, really. And had an option on the other end of the court, still in the backcourt, but had an option wide open. Instead, hurls it to about half court, where nobody was there. The guy was closer to the free throw line than he was to the half-court line on the other side in the front court. Easily picked off, and they knocked down a 3. And that is a mental mistake that cost them another round in the dance.
What you need to do, I don't get why players, the rafters are huge. You're not going to probably just literally throw it straight up in the air as high as you can.
That would have been a better option.
Am I correct on that? It probably takes a second or two to go all the way up and all the way down.
Probably. It's not something that crosses your mind, though, in the
line
moment.
Drive, 50-yard path, dead center court with nobody there is also one of the worst options in that scenario.
It looked like the ball was going out of bounds. He was trying to save it from going out of bounds and hurled it back over his head.
No, he could have essentially held the ball and just waited to get fouled.
Yeah. Instead, he just tried to throw it the other side of the court.
And I don't like to do this against he's younger than I am, the guy who threw it, but it's a boneheaded mistake. It's one that you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Because there was 5 or 6 other things he could have done that would have resulted in either a foul or Virginia just running out the clock, and he did the one thing that you just cannot do, which is. That's the reason they didn't foul, is because they're trying to force a turnover.
Yeah.
Because they were up 2. You knock down both free throws, the game's pretty much over. And they got exactly what they want. And credit to the guy on Furman for knocking down the shot. Just because you get
it
the
was
steal.
still a 30-foot shot.
Yeah, just because you get the steal doesn't mean the shot is. I don't. Mr. Lick's texting in, call a timeout. I don't remember if they had a timeout. But yeah, I mean that's another thing. But honestly, it all happened so fast that there's not a lot of time to call a timeout. I think we actually also have Tony Bennett's reaction to what happened.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Hit the lever plug.
The pass at the end, we missed a front end of a bonus. We missed, made 1 out of 2, so there were some free throws that could have salted that away. And, I'll have to see on tape how it all played out. But, again, it's that feeling of it's there. I think we're going on to the second round or the whatever round we call it now, and then it's gone. And that's a gut punch.
Yeah. And people are texting in that Virginia did have a timeout to burn. But again, once you throw the ball in there, you're not thinking your player is going to just hurl it down the court for a turnover.
Maybe the kid thought there was like 1 second left.
That's what I'm saying.
No matter what I do, it's over.
But either way, it's still a mental mistake because you got to know how much time's left on the clock.
Well, you can't constantly be looking at the clock if you're holding on to the ball and you got guys trying to steal it from you.
You got to have the clock in your head.
I think they miscounted in his head because it looked like he was just trying to burn off the last second and a half.
Yeah,
but yet there was 4 or 5 seconds still left. Because it's easy because there's 5 clocks we can look at while watching it on the TV.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's easy to be like, oh man, there's 2.2 seconds left. In his head, he'd probably like, oh crap, this game's about over.
When your adrenaline's pumping, you think time's moving a lot faster than it is.
Right, and you're not looking at the clock. You can't.
And so it's tough to one mistake is like what everyone's going to focus on. But Tony Bennett's right. You make free throws in March.
Make you free fools.
Then you never have that that option.
The kid was getting dragged on Twitter. That's tough. I mean, they do get paid now. And at 18, you're an adult, and I've argued against being the kid factor. But man, dude, just one mistake, and it's on national television. It just
biggest stage
has got to be demoralizing and brutal.
Well, yeah, no matter how old you are, and no matter how much you're getting paid, you make a mistake that costs your team a big game like that, it haunts you.
Yeah, Barstool on point going, what an idiot. Look at this jackass pass. It's like, man, dude.
Look what that mistake did to Bill Buckner. It just ruined his life. That ground ball went through his legs.
Right. It's really tough. Yeah, especially. I mean, yeah, I know that the kid thing, but he's really, really young, and paid or not, it's still you're still gonna. I mean, I'm sure he got terrible things in his.
Oh, I wouldn't even want to open. I would literally throw my phone away, get a whole new phone, and basically a brand new social media.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I don't think Fred Merkel ever recovered from Merkel's boner.
I don't know if I'm familiar with
whose boner.
That
Merkel's.
Is boner like a bonehead play?
Yeah, I think he was with the Cubs going back like the early part of the 19th century, and they had like the bases loaded in the 9th inning, late in the pennant race. He's the runner at first. A guy gets a hit, drives in a winning run, but Merkel didn't run to second. He never touched second. So the outfielder picked the ball up, stepped on second base. He's out because it's a force out at second, even though the run scored before. It's a force out, so the run didn't count. Cost the Cubs the game, eventually cost him the pennant. And they call it Merkel's boner. It haunted him.
What year was this?
Early 1900s, I think.
Man.
Maybe the 20s.
So when you say Merkel's boner, you expect people to just...
Well, it's a well-known baseball play.
So when he went to the nearest speakeasy...
Yeah.
He really heard it from the patrons.
Oh, gosh, I'm sure he did.
He's 22, and he made that insane pass in 2019 to force OT in the Elite Eight against Purdue. UVA doesn't have a ring without him. That's from Big Ten Tulsa.
Okay, I didn't know
people were posting that video. He made a beautiful pass. I want to say to DeAndre Hunter, but I could be wrong on that. In 2019, that's the thing. That's what I would say about Tony Bennett. You can make fun of Virginia all day because they lost to UMBC as when they were a 1 seed playing a 16 seed in 2018. And they lost again here in the first round. But in between those two things, they won a national championship. Yeah. So it's kind of tough to be like, oh, Tony Bennett's a bad coach, or Virginia's a bad program when they literally won a natty.
Right, and look how many games come right down to the end.
Right.
Is everybody who didn't make the 3-point shot, are they bad coaches? And everyone who did make it, you're a good coach, you need a new job, better job, big raise?
Yeah. This is the Munganast 7 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Ken Iggy Strode is out ill again today. Tim is off today, but he was kind enough to join us right before his tea time earlier today in this segment, so thank you to him. So today it's on my right, we got Douglas Sullivan Vaughn. Many Emmy Awards. Just one of the greatest guys to work with, and generally cute.
Well, that
Douglas
much is true.
Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
That much is true.
Back on TV as well.
And then on the ones and
Full
twos,
time.
president of the Brad Underwood Fan Club, Western Illinois' finest, the pride of Canton, Illinois, Darren the Plowhawk Atkins. I'm Action
Patino.
Jackson with you. A little three-man weave action today on the presentation. So get involved. Text on in 314-881-TMA5. You can call in. I know we're going to answer the phones.
Nah,
but you can-
actually, don't call in today.
Why
I'm not
not?
in the mood. I don't care.
Let him rip
I'm
ya.
not going to look at it. Even if I see the phone ringing, I
let
don't
him
have.
rip ya.
I don't have headphone cords that are long enough to
I
get
thought
to
you
the
almost
phone.
broke your neck when I told you to get the phone for
Dude,
Tim earlier
these
today.
are the worst.
Can you move that to your side? Why can't you just
No,
pick
it's
that thing up?
Iggy's.
Well, he's not here. Just pick it
Well,
up.
I
and
can't.
carry-
I don't think I can pick that thing
There's
up.
I'll
cables.
show you how to pick it up.
There's cables and stuff. I wouldn't mess with it. But 636-900-4TMA, you might just be calling into nothing, but we'll try to
We'll
answer.
periodically peek.
Yeah, so if you get the timing right. Coming up later in the show, the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Doug, tell me a little bit about the great Ryan Kelly.
Well, he wants to help you with your finances, and there's a couple ways to do that. With inflation here, people are taking on more debt than ever. If you're a homeowner, you can leverage your equity. Put the equity in your home to work for you with a simple cash-out refinance. You refinance your mortgage, you take some money out, you pay off those insane credit card interest rates that are now over 24% on the average. 24% interest on your credit cards. It's the highest it's been in over 30 years. With inflation, people are carrying more debt than ever. Put that equity to work for you with a simple cash-out refi. The Home Loan Expert, their clients receive over $54,000 on average when they refinance a mortgage. Imagine what you could do with that. You could pay. Hopefully, you're not any deeper in credit card debt than that. But even if you are, that's just the average. You can pay off those high-interest credit card debts with a refi. People do it every day. I've done it twice, not for credit cards, but for college tuition, and it works. It's a great thing to do. If you're thinking of buying a home this year, the process is not as complicated as you think with the Home Loan Expert. They make the pre-approval process easy. Get yourself pre-approved today, the day you call in, and they will provide you a lower rate with that famous 10-day closing guarantee. That's Ryan Kelly, your home loan expert. The website, thehomeloanexpert.com.
And let me tell you about my pant.
Oh.
That pant is Muggsy. You know, so in the second half there, Doug, with Missouri, they kind of felt like they got comfortable. They started looking good. Well, that's what Muggsy does.
They make tournament trousers.
Absolutely. They make you look good while also being comfortable. You don't have to sacrifice style for comfort. You can have both with Muggsy. I'm currently wearing the Muggsy all-black joggers, super comfortable.
Those are almost clam diggers. Do they make a nice clam digger?
I don't know if they make clam diggers or
Okay.
what's the other thing you want? Chaps. I'm not sure
Chaps,
on
yeah.
that. But they got everything else. You know, whether it's jeans, which are world famous, super comfortable, made from their insane stretch material that moves and grooves with you, not against you. They got the joggers, they got the chinos, they got shorts for the summer, swimwear, jackets, cashmere, flannels, staples that every guy needs in his closet. So head on over to Muggsy.com. You use that promo code TMA, and what that gets you is 10% off your entire order. You can be perusing the website, pick out 3, 4, 5 different things because you're going to like everything you see.
I would think, yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you enter the promo code TMA. That gets you 10% off your entire order with free shipping and free returns. How are you going to beat that? Again, the promo code is TMA when you head to Muggsy.com. 10% off your entire order. Free your balls once and for all and experience life-changing comfort with Muggsy.
Get yourself some bracket bitches.
Nice. See?
Oh, my God. Yeah, clip that one off.
That's-
It's like Doug got babysitting the 2 nephews that nobody likes. That's from Jonathan Mardukas.
What kind of comment is that?
We are like the bottom 3 in talking percentage. Remember
Right.
that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
It's pretty exciting that we're kind of the show pony today.
Yeah, we're kind of like a 13 seed right now, going up against the 4 seed. But, you know,
We
anything
got a
can
fluky
happen.
win in round 1. Foul trouble the other team. Coach took a couple of technicals. We're all that's left.
Jackson's live stream was gold. Love what happened at the 55-minute mark. Takes a drink from his phallically shaped black water bottle and starts moaning. It's from Dingle My Berries.
Now, why were you moaning?
I don't remember that. I was on stream for 2 hours and some change.
How did you do? You just set a tripod up, your phone on a tripod?
No, I just had this old laptop on. I have a coffee table book, and I just set it on top of my coffee table book.
Okay.
And on my coffee table, and watched from my couch, and people just hung out, watched. You know, they probably had the game on their television, maybe on their laptop or phone, were watching with me, and it was pretty fun, man. There's a lot of great people in there hanging out. talking it over.
Were you were answering questions?
Sure. During TV timeouts and the halftime, I was answering some questions, breaking it down. People were giving their thoughts. It was really fun. It was a very positive community of people enjoying the tournament, and that's what it's all about. It's all
Did
about
you
coming
take
together.
timeouts to go to the refrigerator and get some refreshments of any kind?
So I tried my best to stay in front of the laptop because otherwise, like, it's just there's nothing. So
Right.
like the first pee I took was at the final TV timeout, which was a miracle. Like, I thought I would have to go 3 or 4 different times because I was hammering water, but no, I only had to pee once, which was great. The one problem was when someone rang my doorbell during the stream.
Oh, who would have the nerve?
I have lived in this place for a year, like I think a year to the day today, and I have never had anyone ring my doorbell.
Oh, UPS?
I don't know. There's no package there. I don't know who was.
Someone stole it.
I think maybe someone was going door to door or something, but I didn't answer it, and so people were like, "Why are you freaking out that someone rang your doorbell?" I was like, "Because no one rings my doorbell."
Does it worry you when someone rings your doorbell?
Yeah, because if someone was like coming to my place, they would text me and be like, "Hey, I'm coming by." Like, no one ever just shows up unannounced, and so yeah, it scared me. Jackson, I absolutely love the live stream. You have a wealth of basketball knowledge, and it's entertaining as hell to watch you anguish over the outcome of the game. It's from the 618. Thank you. Really appreciate that. The live stream of Jackson being paranoid for about 20 minutes that someone rang his doorbell was gold. It's from Uncle Cucker. It was fun to see Jackson tweaking, looking out of his windows. I was like
afraid that it was someone coming to get you,
like a recluse, like I was. And I also had the blinds closed because the glare coming off outside would have affected the stream. So I had my blinds closed and a lamp on. I looked like a total recluse. Like I looked like Howard Hughes.
Yeah. That's what happens now. Someone comes to your door, you dive behind the couch. Look out! They may see you.
If this was like the first week I was there and someone did, I wouldn't have been tweaked out. But I never had anybody ring my doorbell in the time where I've lived there, unless they were like, I knew they were coming.
Maybe it was a young girl trying to sell you Girl Scout cookies.
I've bought enough Girl Scout cookies, to be honest with you. I don't know about you guys, but I bought a lot of Girl Scout cookies this year.
Now, when we had young Pageviews in here, he had a couple guys with cameras running around following his every move. Do you see yourself doing that at some point? Because this is such a big success.
No, and I mean, we teased it for a while on this, and I think people hung out. I don't know. I kind of want to do it Saturday, but 5:10. I don't know my plans for Saturday. I might have a buddy coming in town who never comes in town, and I want to hang out with him.
Klaus? What's his name?
You're thinking of Prod Joe. Knuckles.
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Knuckles sounds like, how do you get that? I don't want to hear the story of how you got that nickname.
Right, but I don't know my plans. But I hope to stream again because it was really fun, and I'm a superstitious guy. Mizzou won their first game in that live stream, so I kind of want to keep consistency a little bit.
Now, if they win and the game's over about 7, you go out and go to the wheelhouse and dance by yourself again?
I don't know about by myself, but yeah, Saturday I plan.
You would go out big time, blow
if
it
they
up
win,
real big.
absolutely. If they win, absolutely. If they lose, my God, I don't know. I'll be so distraught.
You won't go out at all?
I mean, we'll have to see. The tone of going out there might be different.
There's never much of a reason to be 24 years old, single on a Saturday night, and sit in your apartment alone.
Right. No, I agree.
You'd have to really be sick.
Right. Like even just like hanging out with people is better than just chilling by yourself. So.
Oh yeah, it's kind of sad to think that you would do that, but the depression could run so deep if they should lose on a buzzer beater or something, you couldn't handle it.
Oh, well, I just would be in a terrible mood. I don't want to go out. Howard Hughes was way less pasty. That's from Big Old Fan.
Well, he didn't get much either.
If you don't stream and they lose, how would you live with yourself? Yeah, that's a good question. That's from KG in O-Town. KG in O-Town also sends. So I have neighbors, and I didn't want to scream a bunch, like with my neighbors downstairs. It's like the middle of a work day. And so I would just kind of silently like flail my arms around when something good happened. And there's a lot of people who have took some gifts of that.
The walls are so thin that if you were to cheer for your team, the neighbors would all hear it?
The way I cheer, yeah. Not necessarily.
Well, how do you cheer?
Loud. Clapping.
When you're watching by yourself?
Yeah. Doug, I'm sick. Like, I'm crazy.
I guess.
It's super, super weird. I bet you were fired up watching the game against Arkansas, yelling and stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably most excited pregame.
Why?
And once the game started, 5 minutes in, I knew it was over. And it's true. I mean, that sounds very negative, but it was 10-2, and you could just tell. You can tell right away athleticism, want to, give a crap level. Like, Illinois didn't want to be there. They deserved to lose.
Well, sometimes the other team is just better.
No, I don't think in this case. I mean, certainly Arkansas is better, but there was zero effort by Illinois. They're just a trash team this year.
Oh, come on. You're a little hard on them.
That's why I like the transfer portal, because you can take this trash-ass team and then rebuild it in a year. So
Dennis Gates proved that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you want to lollygag and be a diva and bitch around on the court? Yeah, and be lazy.
Who was doing that?
Dude, luckily, Mitch Mayer, he's done. Thank goodness.
You don't like
it? It was
him?
a terrible
Matt Mayer?
experience. Yeah, Matt, he was okay. He was all right, but just had one of his worst games of his career and his biggest game, so. Looking for a refreshing new team. Keep Jaden Epps. We have some good freshmen there, so there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Now, point guard Sky Clark seemed to have transferred from the University of Illinois about 5 minutes after the loss.
Yeah, mental health must have cleared up.
I wonder how that played in the locker room. They're all moping around, and one guy announces he's out of there.
Going to Louisville.
Yeah.
Playing at the Yum Center.
Yeah, Coleman Hawkins, I think he had something to say, paraphrasing that, the season was tough because we had a diva point guard who gave all these expectations to us and then left midway through the season.
Oh, geez.
Didn't say his name, but it was obvious. He was the only player that left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, good luck. What did Louisville have, 4 wins?
Yeah, they were
And a
terrible
dog
this
took
year.
a dump on their court like the last home game of the
Really?
year during like a Frisbee ceremony. Oh, yeah, they're terrible. So he'll fit right in.
I didn't follow
Underperforming
Louisville.
organization who doesn't care about winning. I think he fits in perfect with
Maybe
that.
they're changing the culture over there. We have what Brad Underwood's thoughts post game after the loss to Arkansas. Here's Brad.
Well,
Underwood.
I'd be interested in hearing that. Hit the lever, plows.
You got it, Dougie.
Yeah, my hat's off to Arkansas. They were better today, and they were very, very assertive early. I thought their defense early was a difference. We had a hard time getting into offense, and then every time we made a run, we missed a layup, we turned it over, or we missed free throws, and had opportunities. I love our team. They fought. They never hung their head. They never quit. We forget that one of the youngest teams in Power 5. We forget we lost so much from the last couple teams. So to put a group together and have them fight and compete speaks volumes to these young guys and their character. We knew there would be ups and downs, but turnovers were the key. Give Arkansas the credit, and then the one thing that was probably the most disappointing thing was 3 offensive rebounds for us. But Arkansas deserves the credit, and they played better than we did today.
Yeah, I have to say.
You're spot on with that.
I'd have to say that Arkansas is a bad draw for Illinois because Arkansas is a team that's been injured throughout the season but have a ton of talent. Obviously, super well coached. Arkansas has been to the Elite Eight the past 2 seasons, and Eric Musselman's an incredible coach. And so they're a team that's just now getting healthy, and that's a bad draw. I said it early when Nick Smith Jr. came back for Arkansas that whoever they play in the tournament, they might ruin their day because they're going to be like an 8 or 9 seed, but probably closer to a 5 seed. And now we've seen what happened with that. I doubt they'll beat Kansas, but that is an unlucky draw for Illinois there.
Yeah, I told Doug more than likely probably lose by 20 to Kansas, but just getting to the weekend, the excitement of having another game to watch,
Sure.
Another opportunity. But how we played again, I was fine losing. We just shot terrible, just made.
They have all year from three-point range. In this era of college basketball, you have to be able to shoot the three. And Illinois is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country.
We can't find shooters. We haven't the last few years, but
They shot 27% from three-point range yesterday. That's terrible.
Underwood said it great. I mean, they just flat out outplayed us, and you just can't play like that.
Yeah, I dug to your point there was a three-point shot. That's one of Mizzou's benefits, which is it's a silver lining of a downside. They're undersized. Most of the time Kobe Brown's the tallest player on the floor, but all 5 guys are threats to shoot.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing because you have to play defense 30 feet out for everybody, not just the guards. So the lack of post play is a problem, and it would have been a big problem against Arizona. Taveras and Bialo are both like 7 feet tall and monsters.
Yeah.
But
I'm still not sold that that's the best way to approach it for everybody, to just constantly be concerned about the three, because there's an awful lot of easy baskets to be made down low.
Sure.
They call
if you
fouls
got a big
all the
guy,
time.
yeah, I would rather score 3 out of 4 times down the court on a 2-pointer than hit 1 out of 5 3-point shots.
I think, and I agree with your premise. I think it's actually more important to be a threat to shoot. Not necessarily always like living and dying by the three, but if all 5 players on the court are a threat to shoot, then you have to defend it as such, and that creates lanes for penetration.
Don't say as such.
But it does. It creates penetration. It creates people having to guard you out there. There's nothing like when you watch SLU this year, it was kind of frustrating when the Cora would catch at the top of the key and the guy would stand 6 feet off of him. That completely changes up an offensive game plan when you have that situation. You can't lose games in the NCAA tournament and win. That's from the Tuba Maker.
You cannot. No.
For much of the first half, ILL had more turnovers than baskets, sign of a great team. It's from Brad and Boca.
Oh, yeah, it's the coaching. It's a lot of things. I mean, we kept going on runs, and right when we're about to close the gap, we do just something ridiculous that changes momentum. They go on an 8-0 run, and you're down 12 or 14 again. Like, we just could not gain control of the situation. I mean, we fought from down 17 to where we were, or down 15.
Scrappy
to get to 5. So I give them credit. They did not stop, but that was mainly because Terrence Shannon just has an absolute motor, and RJ Melendez. Yeah, there was, but I mean Matthew Marin, Danger. I mean, those two did absolutely nothing. They hurt our team more than anything. Now having a healthy Jaden Epps really hurt too. So
Illinois finished with a record of 20-13. What do you think the record would have been if you had been the head coach?
Way worse.
How many W's could you have coached them to?
8 to 10.
Yeah.
You could have commanded the respect of the locker room.
I think so. Non-conference patsies, you could have won 10 at least.
No, well, I would have lost the Texas and UCLA game. There would have been 2 more losses.
I don't know if you had a game plan for all them.
The Michigan double overtime, I probably would have benched my entire squad because I was pissed. I think that's why I would lose so many, is I would take it way too seriously because I'm too much of a fan. And not as much as like a mentor or coach.
I would just like to see you stalking the sideline with a program rolled up in your hand and barking at the zebras.
Trust me, Doug, if Champaign wants to give me that opportunity, I am 100% all for it.
You would take the job? How do you think that would go over with the fan base? We've decided to hire a board operator from an HD2 radio station to lead this program for the next 10 years.
He's 5'10", 135 pounds soaking wet.
Didn't play,
but he did drop 28 on Sean Livingston.
Yeah, that's right. What's his athletic career? Oh, he played intramurals and church league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would be the first question? That one sentence that you just said.
It would be like Ted Lasso.
Yeah. There's like layers of, okay, what's the pedigree?
It would literally be like that Ted Lasso opening press conference. That's what I imagine it would be.
Well, there have been a lot of great football coaches that never played.
Sure.
But it seems like the other sports, you just had to have played. Although Red Auerbach wasn't an NBA player.
No.
He's widely considered the greatest coach in NBA history, I guess, one of them.
All I'd tell him to do is half-court trap, and we're going to just shoot threes all day long.
Oh, they'd like to play for you. You're your player's coach.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Bring up the clip from a few months ago when Plowsy praised the Illini AD for hiring Underwood and Bielema. It's from Manute Bowl eligible.
Look, I love our AD. He's amazing. Whitman I do believe he's from Washington University.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, and things can change. I mean, those are 2 solid coaches, but Brad Underwood hasn't got over the hump. I did give him credit. They have the most Big Ten wins in the last 4 years. Like, you can't.
Well, that says a lot.
Bottom feeders of the Big Ten is like the NL Central in the last couple of years. But not outside of this year, it was very, very deep with Northwestern and Penn State. But I don't know. I think that you got to see, are you just willing to be out in the first weekend of the NCAA tournament every year? They have, I mean, it's a huge university with the biggest basketball pipeline in the country right there in Chicago. Like, if you can't get players and compete and do that after year 4, year 5, that's where you have to talk about maybe a coaching situation. I still like Underwood. I just don't think he has what it takes to make a deep run. And if that's what you want, then you got to cut bait.
I think if I coached, I've always had such a soft spot in my heart for the guys sitting on the bench. I'd say, hey, some of you guys haven't played yet. Sternberg, get in there.
Where you're
I couldn't help myself. You guys haven't played at all.
Down 2 with a minute and a half. Hey, Stern, get in there.
CYC rules.
Kobe, get out.
Everybody's got to play at least 25%. Sternberg, get in there.
Yeah, pull out Kobe and put in Ben Sternberg.
Did you see him acting like he was interviewing the coach when that was over?
Yeah, and because that's what he does. He does a thing called the Sternberg Scoop on Mizzou's Instagram where he interviews players and he acts like a media member. It's really funny. He's a very talented guy. I think will have a career in coaching or media of some sort. He's really good. But I thought that was great that they're calling Dennis Gates over to do the post-game interview, and Dennis Gates brought the entire team with him to be behind him. I think that's like it's the little things like that are like the difference between like a coach who, and I'm not saying like every coach that does an interview by himself is like a jerk, but like that's a cool thing to do, like because you're nowhere without your team, and your team is nowhere without you, so it's a very symbiotic relationship. Connectivity is one thing that they preach. Doug, you want to play for the day? VCU over St. Mary's. VCU.
Oh yeah. VCU is pretty good.
VCU is good. They got this guy with long hair who can shoot the lights out, and St. Mary's has thrown up some duds this year. I like VCU over St.
VCU is the only A10 school that got in, right?
Yeah,
I think that's it.
The A10
Richmond,
a disaster.
Richmond. Yeah, this year was a down year in the A10, which makes it even more frustrating for St. Louis University fans. Tim didn't play any professional sports, but I guarantee you he could be a Hall of Fame coach if he ever wanted to. That's from Mr. Licks. He's not even here, Doug. Lemonading. This is like...
It does you no good. He won't even hear it.
Did you see, and I have to, on the SLU thing, and I love, trust me, I go to about 6 games a year. Love me some SLU basketball.
Yeah.
But Travis Ford to be the 6th highest paid Big East coach?
Oh, is
and
that right?
SLU's endowment is sneaky huge. Because I forgot why they compared Travis Ford and SLU to the Big East. I'm not for sure why they did that. It was right after
There's
SLU.
some thought among the fan base that that's where SLU ought to be.
Okay.
The Big East.
So, and that opened my eyes to like, how are they not in the tournament and winning every year? If that's kind of they're in the upper echelon of the Big East in terms of endowment and what they pay their head coach.
Yeah.
And you're playing in the A10, which is...
It's a good basketball.
It's decent. I mean, I
top heavy, like Richmond and VCU and Dayton are going to be like your staples.
Correct.
But you've also got a bunch of butt asses in there when you got to play
LaSalle,
Rhode Island, and Fordham,
right.
and Duquesne, like St. Joseph's. They play in high school gyms.
It's very top heavy. Like the bottom half is garbage, but the top half are people who have VCU went to the Elite Eight or Final Four one year, and Dayton's been in there so many times. SLU has been in there so many times. So, it's a very top-heavy conference with some real crap at the bottom. Like, LaSalle legitimately plays in a high school gym.
Well, they've been in this conference for a while now, and I think people still would like to have some rivalries develop, but some of these schools, you just don't know them at all. How excited do you get when you hear, Duquesne's coming to town? Right? Where's that?
I'm with you.
It's a tough comparison because I realized Creighton with Dana Altman was amazing, even when they were in the NBC. But I would take that route. Just go to the Big East. Look at Creighton's success immediately once they got more money from the Big East, a bigger recruiting reach. They're a top 15 team the last 2 or 3 years, getting really sick players. I think that's the route. They are dying in the A10.
Are we positive the Big East is looking to expand?
No.
University?
I'm just saying the Big East is just a comparison for... Again, I don't know why they wanted to compare Travis Ford to Big East coaches and the endowment for SLU compared to the Big East programs. So you can pick any Power 5, but that university is dying in the A10. And I love SLU and love SLU basketball, but I think they'd be better off even in the MVC as an upgrade from the A10.
Oh, I wholeheartedly disagree with
that. You know where the teams play.
You have some regional rivalries anyway.
I think there's a little bit better games to be played. I'm telling you, the bottom half of the A10, I get it. It's the bottom half. They are. It's unreal how bad they are.
But you look at the Big East, there's some legacy programs in there, whether it be Villanova, who's national champions before Georgetown, Butler has been to 2 national championships, Xavier, Marquette. These are like St. John's. These are generational school. Like I don't know if SLU commands that. Like that, if you were to look and say like what's the odd teams out, it would be DePaul and SLU. You know, DePaul is not much. You know, better than SLU.
Well, there's no reason they can't get to the level of Xavier or even Marquette. Private schools.
Marquette's a 2 seed in the tournament.
Yeah.
Look at what St. Mary's
Why
does.
is it just okay that Marquette is always a power and St. Louis U is?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's but you got to create a culture of winning. I mean, Marquette's had NBA Hall of Famers come and play for them, like Dwayne Wade, like you know, Jimmy Butler played at Marquette for a little bit. These are all-star level players.
Well, what's Milwaukee got that we don't have?
I've never been to Milwaukee.
I haven't either.
Nice town. In the summer, it's gorgeous.
I would love to go. I've heard great things. A lot of things to do. I don't know why I haven't been. I mean,
it seems like it's St. Louis. It's slightly colder. Doesn't it seem like this would be the same type of city?
I bet it's cold as hell in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
And I think their city is a little downtown, at least. My apologies, is a little better. Because the Bucks build a brand new stadium. I think they have like two brand new arenas down there.
They're building something new with the Brewers too.
Yeah, so
changing that up.
I think maybe their downtown is more hustle and bustle.
Well, yeah, you'd be hard to find a downtown that doesn't have more hustle and bustle than St. Louis.
What are you talking about, Doug?
But the city, again, like I hate that because St. Louis City is fantastic. Great restaurants, great vibe. Like, but everybody outside of St. Louis just looks at St. Louis City and downtown as one. And I get why the people do that because it's very, you don't have a lot of cities like St. Louis where you don't want to go downtown in the hub. You want to go 5 minutes out. Like, no city is like that.
North Kentucky versus Houston was wild AF last night. Whole game played like it was tied with 20 seconds left. Yeah, that was that one I didn't see. I was like, you always watch when the 16 seed is like close in the second half. I felt like Houston towards like the 10-minute mark kind of had the control of it. But
and Sasser left the game again hurt.
Like without Sasser, Houston's a hold, and I know a lot of people have Houston in the Final Four. I'm nervous about that because when you're so dependent on one player, I mean, I'm not saying that they're nothing without Sasser, but I've never been to Milwaukee, but I think their downtown is better. What it take? Jesus, that's from 31-4.
Well, if you just look,
didn't mind it.
Well, if you just, my dad has been there several times and talks about it, and also like if you just look at aerial shots and like. It just looks a lot better with. I mean, now with the city and the putt shack and all that. I get that.
It's putt shack like it's
that's our biggest
For one, if you're on the interstate, it's the first thing you see. Whatever they did with their building and marketing there, it's the first thing you see.
But if a mini golf course is the best thing we got, we're no better than Myrtle Beach.
Well, we're not better than Myrtle Beach, and we never will.
Have you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
Well, I can tell you the sun goes out and there's sand. There ain't nothing like that here. There can be something so Hoosier in Florida, and it's still better than St. Louis because it snows here. So
well, yeah, weather, I'll give you that, but I just think
weather is mixed with enjoying yourself. And I would much rather live in that slum.
Well, there's a lot of cities with worse weather than what we have.
Yeah, like
Chicago for one.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
I'll take the hot summers of St. Louis over the freezing cold of Chicago and Milwaukee in the winter.
I ain't living in Chicago ever. I'd live in Milwaukee though. Never been. But I'd set up a little loft.
People seem to like it. The people I know that are from there seem to have really liked it.
Short drive to your Packer games.
Yeah, and how many, you can tell by the comparison of how many people live downtown in Milwaukee and say it's great, and how many people live downtown in the city in St. Louis and go, can't wait to get out.
Biff liked
Stephen
it.
Wildwood, no.
Stephen Wildwood.
When you're in a fortress like Biff, blessed for him, but
that's what it would take,
you know, you can feel safe in that building in any scenario because of, you know, it just is nice. But yeah, Stephen Wildwood, loved the guy. He loved the city, but look at him. He's ready to dart. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Milwaukee has this thing called Lake Michigan. St. Louis ain't got that. We have the Mississippi River.
Jumping in Lake Michigan year round?
I feel like it would be pretty cold for a little
bit.
bit.
The Mississippi looks nasty from a helicopter. It looks nasty from a Boeing. Yeah. You can't make that look nice outside of a rendering of a stadium because they made that look like, oh my gosh.
It's really of no use to people for recreational purposes, like Lake Michigan is, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and when the weather's nice up there, there's probably boaters and everything else. There might be a little beach there. I don't know. when the weather gets warm. I'm sure the water's still very cold, but
Yeah.
at least there's some recreational opportunities there. There's nothing with the Mississippi River.
I can confirm.
Alton Lake, I guess.
Those renderings for the new stadium had people jet skiing on the.
Yeah, they cleaned up the river too. It's kind of a light blue color. It's gorgeous.
I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure there were dolphin fins.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Suddenly saltwater also.
River dolphins.
It was unreal. Like looking at it, and the renderings of the stadium were good, but it's so. I couldn't even picture the stadium there because I'm looking at just crystal blue water. I'm wondering how expensive that project is.
Right.
To completely replace the Mississippi with the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. Those fins may have been giant bloated catfish who got fat eating the remains of bodies that were dumped in there.
That's absolutely what it was. Mutated catfish.
I can confirm Milwaukee's downtown is better. I have been there. Everyone can lay off the 2 after-school kids Doug is watching today. That's from Hall of Famer Carlos Spicy.
Do you feel like you're babysitting Jackson and myself?
No, not really. No.
I didn't want it to feel that way.
Babysitting.
We have the river. We have the DePere River. Does Milwaukee have a DePere River?
I doubt it seriously.
The Biver de Bear.
They probably don't have to concern themselves with the flooding that we do.
The Mississippi is so choppy. Like, dude, I couldn't imagine even taking a dip in there. For one, you're getting, like, sliced by serrated knives and rusty refrigerators. But I couldn't imagine going, let's take a dip.
Well, if you
it's
jumped
just
in,
dark brown, and it looked like there's a black hole, like, under the bridge.
Oh.
Like, that's terrifying.
The current's so fast, if you jumped in, you'd be in Memphis in about 10 minutes, probably.
What about the guy, and we were on air for this, Jackson, I think I've told this story before about the guy, it was like commuting either to Illinois or from Illinois. It was like they were taking the Stan the Man Bridge. I don't know what direction. But apparently, so like, had somebody texting and caused an accident and hit this dude's car, and the car, veers off and goes through the guardrails of the bridge, and he flies out of his windshield.
Oh.
And this is like January or February. I'm not kidding. And lands in the Mississippi, alive, and they rescue him.
Like
he had not a scratch on. Yeah, so like when he crashed, he went like head first through the car. Went to the car immediately goes straight down with his momentum.
Yeah.
Took him a little further past. Landed in there and just got helicoptered out. Like they did have a scratch on them.
Lucky break.
When did this happen?
This was 4 or 5 years ago. We were in the Kirkwood studio, so it may not have been that long ago. But we were doing a show, and I remember that story coming out.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, what the hell?
How was your drive home, honey?
It's completely dark, too. So you're talking, not only is it freezing cold, and you just went through a windshield and then dropped, but you don't know where you are. You have the current going. It's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
You would think going through the windshield would kill you. You would think falling into the river would kill you.
Correct.
And then you would drown. You had 3 different ways to die there.
And this guy just getting helicoptered right out, just like 20 minutes later. It's not like immediately.
That reminds me of.
Crazy.
And I love Iggy, but someone called in and someone told the caller to jump off the stand usual, and he then responded, well, I don't think that would kill you. What's the statue only 6 feet high? I was like, no, idiot, it's the bridge, not the stand.
That's right.
Someone was going to jump off the stand usual statue in front of Bush.
People that aren't sure if they're going to commit suicide just jump off the statue, not the bridge.
Next to third base.
It's preseason.
They sprain an ankle.
Up on the Illinois Peninsula, people are out on the Illinois and Mississippi rivers every weekend. Not saying it's for me, but people use them like they are the Lake of the Ozarks, boozing, swimming, and skiing/kneeboarding all summer long. It's from Scott's Wrinkled Balls.
But it's not by the downtown,
by Alton Lake, right?
Yeah, most people utilize waterways. Most cities with riverfronts actually use them. So I guess it is weird for people that don't live in St. Louis that come here and just see a slab of cement with a bunch of heroin needles.
Yeah. Not that inviting.
Instead of maybe infrastructure and inviting, restaurants and shops and a walkway right down there.
We used to have all that.
That would be fun, but that'll never happen. So
it did happen.
I don't think
it's gone now.
Again, it may ever happen again.
Yeah. Crime was among the issues.
It is 8:09 in St. Louis. We're going to close out the Munganast 7 o'clock hour. Coming up on the other side of the break, we'll hear a little bit from Dennis Gates, his post-game thoughts, how he addressed the team after the game, and just so much more. We're talking tournament. We're talking Milwaukee. We're talking Illinois hoops. Everything under the sun. Text on in 314-881-TMA5. Get involved with the presentation. Watch on YouTube at youtube.com/TMASTL. We'll be coming back on the other side of the break with the appliance discounters. 8 o'clock hour. This closes at the Munganast. 7 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, broadcasting live from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
TMA knows how our Walrus audience loves their meats. That's why we have teamed up with a local company that delivers high-quality, great-tasting meats straight to your door. Brush Creek Valley Farms is a direct-to-consumer family farm that raises, processes, and delivers pork and beef nationwide at cost-friendly prices. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to choose between their various box options. Build your own box or buy in bulk to have a great-tasting local beef and pork at all times. Brush Creek Valley Farms is offering 10% off any box by using the promo code TMA10 or 5% off any bulk order when you use TMA5. On top of that, if you subscribe to their monthly service, you'll receive an additional 10% off each order you make. Again, that's TMA10 for any box order, TMA5 for bulk orders, and an automatic 10% off when you subscribe. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to learn more about how you can get their meats in your mouth and support a local family farm. That's brushcreekvalley.com, high-quality meats for a lowbrow audience.
Nothing says barbecue like Naven's Barbecue. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a family gathering, Naven's Barbecue has an extensive menu for any palate. From slow-smoked Texas-style brisket to award-winning smoked chicken wings. All Naven's Barbecue is wood-smoked, and all their meat is from local and regional farmers. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for daily specials and holiday meal packages. Stop by their location at the intersection of Grand and Arsenal in South City today for the best barbecue in the STL. Online at navensbbq.com. That's NAVINSBBQ.com.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, a lot of people need cash and they need it now, but they maybe don't want to refinance their mortgage. What can you do to help them?
No, you're not kidding about that. A lot of folks refinanced or bought a house in the last couple of years, and they have this really low interest rate, 2.5%, 3%, and they know they have $100,000 in equity or whatever that number is, but they just don't want to refinance that loan. And that's why we have a home equity line of credit at the Home Loan Expert. We can tap into the equity and get you the cash you need without touching that low rate on the first mortgage you have. It's a great solution when you need to pay off those credit cards, when you want to make those home improvements, or you want to just get caught up on the bills finally now and put some cash in the bank. A home equity line of credit can give you all of those things without replacing that current low rate first mortgage. Got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and I am thrilled to have new clients on board Longo Biggs Injury Law. CD Longo and Doug Biggs. And Doug, the thing I want our audience to know is that you guys are local and you guys are different. Tell our audience how you're different.
Yeah, Tim, both CD and I are from St. Louis area, born and raised in the South City area or the South County area, and we are also thrilled to be part of the TMA family now. If anyone signs up with us for an injury case, their case is treated like they are family. We get to know you, we get to know the ins and outs of your case, and make sure we represent you like you are part of our family. We're not like one of the large firms in the area who might take your case and just treat you like another number or another file. You'll get our personal attention. It's either CD and I who will handle your case directly. And if you are injured in an accident, please remember us. You can visit us at longobiggs.com, and that's Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular Carne con Cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's. Hey, it's Jackson from Mark Hanna. TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially, saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Whether you're like me and starting your financial planning, or if you're already retired, call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors and insurance and annuity products through Equitable Network, LLC.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. Or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
I spent 4 years in San Francisco.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
This is for all the first-round losers in the tournament.
When did the tramp first start? I guess the tournament has to be over first. Yeah, it's true.
This is Joshua's biggest hit, wasn't it?
It's definitely a big hit.
It's a nice little song.
Plowek, you want to like slow dance or something?
No, I'm just ready to curl up in bed. I really am. I shouldn't be as upset.
Why? You love your team. It's cool to care about things, dude.
What was it last year? They made it past the first round, but it was like that battle between Tennessee Tech. They were like a 14 seed, and we barely beat them.
Can't overlook the kids from Tennessee Tech.
They had
Can't look them in the eye.
God, they had one guy that transferred to a big time program. I forgot, but yeah, like just every year. I just want another Sweet 16 Elite 8 appearance. Not asking for much.
Well, no matter how far you go, you're going to be frustrated that they didn't win that next game.
Right, of course.
67 teams leave with tears in their eyes.
So far, not the Tigers, though. This is the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour in the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Darren the Plowhawk Atkins on the ones and twos. I'm Action Jackson. It's a little three-man weave action today, a little 3-on-3. Tim is out today, planned, and Iggy is out ill. So it's just the three of us. But hey, get involved with the program. Text on in, 314-881-TMA5, youtube.com/TMASTL. Hey, guys, you guys ever eat iguana? That's from Nate in Tallahassee. You ever had iguana?
Sounds...
Have I ever eaten a lizard? Is that what the question is? Have I eaten an iguana?
Doug, I'm guessing no for you.
No.
I've had gator.
I've had gator.
Chunks,
yeah.
Is that good? I don't know if I'm eating the snoot or the tail.
Are you talking about?
I assume tail.
Have you had gator bites from Broadway Oyster Bar? Is that what you're talking about?
I haven't had a
That's right.
Broadway Oyster Bar. I've had them
fire.
somewhere else.
Dip is fire. You really like them. when I was at Soy,
in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, right before like the end. It was Tuesday night. That end of the trip party that we had.
Or last night.
Yeah. So we went to Soy beforehand and eating there, and saw a couple radio guys there as well that were doing. I forgot which outlet they were from.
Sure.
So kind of friendly, and he said, "Hey, I have one octopus tentacle left. Would you like it?"
Octopus is good.
But it wasn't like Olive and Oak, which I've heard has amazing octopus. Have yet to try it there. Need to.
It's just a long, stringy leg.
No, this was raw octopus tentacle, like one of the actual suction tentacles.
Yeah. Oh.
So it wasn't like long, it was more like flat, like, like a cookie.
Wouldn't the suction get stuck to the roof of your mouth?
It was. I guess when you take it off of the arm, that suction disappears. Was not suction. It was interesting, but I'm down to try almost anything.
But that's basically what calamari is, right? That's squid.
Yeah, up to a point. I'm not familiar with what calamari is. This one just it looked kind of like sushi, but it was clearly an octopus tentacle.
Oh.
And it was pretty good.
Shark tastes like chicken, but still has the mouthfeel of fish. Tasty stuff. It's from Suckboy Tony of Soulard. I've had shark, too.
Yeah, I have
fresh
had
shark like in
chunks.
Florida. It's pretty good.
That's why I love, being at places near the water. I love the restaurants that don't really have a set menu. They have,
It's a rotating seasonal menu, bro.
They have, fishermen that they, hire privately, and whatever they catch that morning, that's the menu.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I freaking love that.
You like that?
I love that. It's a mix. It's always fresh.
I talked to a guy down there
Very
one year
jealous.
who was one of the fishermen. He'd get up at 3 a.m. and go fishing right up the coast, and whatever he caught, then he'd bring into the restaurants, and they'd pay him for it.
You're literally done at 10 a.m. because you go in and sell your whatever restaurant or maybe a grocery store that wanted it.
Yeah.
Unpack it, clean your boat, call it a day. You're done at noon.
Iguana is tough to cook. 1 second too long, and it's tough as wood. 1 second too soon, and you're basically poisoning yourself. As iguanas take over South Florida, we'll see more recipes pop up. It's from Nate.
I don't know that that's true.
Tallahassee. It's good information, though.
It has to be tough.
What?
That outer.
Are you so desperate for food that you're eating lizards?
I would be if I'm trying to survive on an island.
But you're not, and that'll never happen. You'll never be stuck on a deserted island to have to eat lizard. It's not going to happen at any point in your life.
Oh, you never know that.
Hey, Doug, will you eat my lizard? It's from the Millennial.
That son of a sack.
Today's show is like the Three Stooges if both Larry and Curly were out and Mo was stuck with Shemp and Joe Besser. Just busting balls. Love you guys.
Now, Joe Besser was not funny. The other Stooges were all great. But Joe Besser stepped in. He didn't have it.
Typically, we're not nervous when Tim and Iggy are gone. It rarely does happen.
This is very rare.
But
we have 3 guys.
After hearing about the talking time percentages, coming in here, I'm like, oh, man, we're the 3 bottom dogs.
Sure we are.
Well, and that's where Missouri. Missouri is not a metrics darling. We're not a KenPom favorite. The net rankings don't like us. The talk percentage doesn't like us. But that's how you overcome adversity. Here's Dennis Gates talking about how they weren't supposed to be there yesterday, and now people have questions. Plazzi, it's called Gates Questions.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Anyone else who has not had a chance to ask a question?
Man, we got a lot of questions now. We wasn't supposed to be here. They said we was losing today. So they got questions.
Okay.
They got questions. Let's go. Ask some more questions.
Man.
Love.
Bring it on.
Everybody
pundits.
says that.
Yeah.
Nobody respected us.
Right.
Nobody thought we'd be here.
And it is kind of, I'm with you.
That one's
but
actually real.
They were betting, they were the underdogs in the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of the experts, it was like the very sharp experts were like, yeah, Utah State might roll Mizzou. And so.
Well, then they're not that sharp.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't look at that team and think, boy, that's a really good Utah State team.
Yeah, I typically don't like coaching going, we were picked this, but they were picked terribly low in the SEC. They were picked by a lot of people to lose yesterday. And it's not like it's Georgia football where they're reloading 5-star recruits after an 11-win season going, oh, these guys said we would win 7 games. There was not one person in the world that thought Georgia football was going to win 7 football games. Yeah. So I hate that false narrative. Oh, nobody believed in us. What do you mean? You have 18 5-stars that are starting for you. Mm-hmm. Another 10 of them that are on the sidelines waiting to get in.
Right.
Here's how Dennis Gates addressed his team following the victory over Utah State.
Oh, let's hear that. Hit the lever, please.
What do we got,
Clowns.
speech or comments?
Speech.
Oh, man, I would have messed that up so hardcore, Doug.
No.
Be prepared and be ready. Be prepared and be ready. Okay? Trago Million, this one was for you, baby. Yeah, guys, continue to build what we got to build. All right, one game at a time, one minute at a time, one half at a time, 1 second at a time. Right? At the end of the day, nobody selected us to win this game. That's right. But the people in this room. Continue to leave no doubt. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to respect, you do what? Take it! Let's go. Let's go, man. Get in the video.
Why was this one from Gomillion? Because he didn't play?
He didn't play. Cleveland State guy with Dennis Gates. They did a really good video I suggest people watch. I think it's probably on both the Mizzou Hoops Instagram and Twitter about what Trey Gomillion means to this team and him and Dennis Gates' relationship, how Gomillion wasn't going to go D1, how no one really wanted him, but Dennis Gates took a chance on him, and how important of a glue guy he's been throughout Dennis Gates' whole career. And it's a really interesting and cool story. And Gomillion's been sidelined in and out with a groin injury for most of the second half of the season, but hopefully he can come, because when he comes in and plays, like I don't know his plus minus off the top of my head, but I assume it's pretty good. He is a good glue guys.
Would you ever miss work as a radio guy due to a groin injury?
Oh, I do all the time.
Well, didn't you have hemorrhoids one time and came in?
Oh, yeah, I'm with him. Dude, I come in all the time with catastrophic injuries.
I think hemorrhoids would be that's like number one on something I don't want and have to sit down for radio.
Oh, I've had hemorrhoids. I've had it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you played right through it.
I'm a team player. It's hard for me to, at 4 in the morning, 1, figure out who I would text, and 2, feel comfortable going back to bed after sending a random person a text saying, hey, you got it. You can step in.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Spot.
I would never be able to, sleep or think. All I think about is the show and if it went on correctly. So.
Well, what's the worst injury you've played with?
Oh, probably hemorrhoids.
Yeah, I have to think. What would he even come close?
Did it hurt?
I had a dead tooth.
Oh, that would be
I remember,
too.
and I just had extreme tooth pain, which is
I hate
talking on radio and being trying to act like you care. No offense, guys, probably didn't care at the time. About whatever take you had. That is the hardest for sure. So, but hemorrhoids, I'm sitting, so that's a battle.
Couldn't you stand up, adjust the mic so you could stand up and get
Then the
through it?
hemorrhoids would be the focal point of the entire show.
Sure.
You got to pick your battles, and I'd rather
Did you get a
play in
donut of
pain.
hemorrhoid donut of some sort?
No, again, I think that would be brought up on the show. You just got to act like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The tooth pain is the worst because sometimes you have a sore ankle, sore knee, sore shoulders. It's kind of understandable to have pain in those joint areas. But when you have tooth pain where your teeth never ever hurt, you never think about your teeth, and it suddenly starts hurting, it's all you think about.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of blood. That's the problem. That's why, at night, if you have a toothache, don't lay down. Sleep sitting up. Because once you lay down, all the blood goes to your gums and to your head, and that pumps, and that makes the pain even worse.
Really?
So you want to keep the blood, you want to have it flow down, and so it's not, pulsating. That's how you get pulsating is,
Maybe that's why
all
my
the
mouth
blood,
is bleeding.
Yeah, all the
bleeding so
blood
much.
goes to one area. But if you, have a pillow at your back, and sometimes you just got to, I know it's not comfortable, but sleep kind of
I can't sleep sitting up.
It's hard, but when you're in severe pain and that eliminates it, take one for the team.
No doubt.
Don't you wonder how much people must have suffered 100 years ago,
They just
200 years
pull
ago?
them out, right? They just pull
I
them
guess.
They'll give you a bottle of whiskey, say hammer half of this, and then
Yeah,
we're
with
gonna
no
do it.
anesthesia or anything.
I don't get that at all.
And I'm sure they weren't doing braces, and so your teeth were crooked and messed up and hurt and sore.
Everybody's on the same page, though. It's not like, oh, look at your teeth. It's like, yeah, well, look at yours.
That's the thing, too.
Nobody's making fun of anybody. Or
If we were to go back in a time machine to 1850, would the first thing we notice be the smell? I feel like that would just hit you right over the head.
Probably.
Dude,
But they don't
cities-
know any better. They've all stunk. But if you shower or bathed once a month and there was no deodorant, I would assume everyone's no laundry. I assume you just stunk.
There was a point where cities were built. Granted, there were dirt roads. This is way back. But before trash pickup, sewage,
Yeah.
you have trash sitting on the side of the road for weeks, and you have people dumping poop buckets out like their third floor balcony, just
Right.
on the freaking curb.
And horse poop probably everywhere,
just
too.
imagine like all of those smells. People weren't showering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just gotta be awful.
Well, what do you think they'll say 200 years from now? They'll say, can you imagine going back to 2023?
Yeah.
What would be the horrible thing that they would notice?
Humans.
Probably maybe air quality. Like they would just be like I see all the time like cars with the exhaust going, and it's just like like in traffic and it's a billowing exhaust smoke. Like I think that would be because I assume electric cars will be in like 100 years it'll all be electric stuff. So
Oh, how wasteful we are. Because I'm sure in 100 years it'll be like more of a minimalist society. And just how much crap we never use, how much food we have go to waste. Like it's a huge thing. So I bet that might be one of them too. So we have to get smarter,
Yeah.
right? Please tell me we
And they'll
hit
be
rock
saying-
bottom in education at this point.
I'm sure they'll be saying, I can't believe what these people died from. Geez, they
Right.
died of cancer? Are you
Right,
kidding me?
cancer, yeah, for
Heart disease? Really? We just got to put a new one in.
Yeah, because I guess 150 years ago, they probably wouldn't think, man, they're probably going to make fun of us that we died of extreme diarrhea. But now it's like, I have diarrhea in the morning and you're coming into work,
Yeah.
team player.
Hemorrhoids, you play right through it.
Cletus just texted me in regard to what people in 100 years would be freaked out that we did, and he texted me piss-soaked girdles.
Well,
Yeah,
girdles
that'll
in
be up there.
general, they're like, this is supposed to help back pain?
Piss and wine soaked. warm wine. What the F are you bums talking about? Where is Tim? It's from Aunt Peg. Tim is out today. Iggy is also out today, but it's a thrill three-man week. But hey, I'll let you hear a little bit of Tim right now because I want to hear a little bit about Munganast, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota.
Munganast, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, the 7 o'clock hour sponsor on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, and also our sponsor on the Munganast Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown, and all of us on TMA love the people at Munganast and the partnership we have with Munganast, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. And for our listeners, there is a secret phone number. The secret phone number is 314-252-0029. That's 314-252-0029. You can call or text Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, or Peter Munganast and ask any questions or make any requests you would like to deal with the best. And the best is stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. They service all makes and models, regardless if you bought from them. It's Munganast, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota.
That's St. Louis Acura. Doug, you're whipping the Munganast car, aren't you?
I am indeed, from Alton Toyota. Yeah, that Highlander that I just absolutely love.
Yeah.
I drove a hybrid Highlander they gave me once. That was fantastic.
Probably silent. Right, he was driving around.
Silent, yeah, I was getting like 45 miles a gallon.
Oh my God, isn't that the best? Isn't it the best when you don't have to like keep refill? Like if you can make a tank of gas last 2 weeks.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Greatest feeling of all
Yeah, it's
time.
great. Yeah, I love those Highlanders.
My dad heard you talking about it so much, he went straight to the muckety mucks. And
Oh, he
got
did?
himself a Highlander himself.
I bet he loves it.
He's head over heels in love with it. Yeah, he really enjoys whipping that car. Take a kidney stone on for a size as far as pain goes. No comparison. I have had 8. Thanks. It's from Mr. Smith.
Yeah, they're, I
8
think
kidney stones.
You can-
Cranberry juice.
you can get them a lot but it's mostly hereditary. For like the 2, 3, 4, 5 times having them, I think that's hereditary. Now, one, anybody I think can really get them. I think, what are they, calcium filled?
Yeah.
I think so.
There's some calcifies inside.
But I mean,
I never had one of those.
I drink 1 soda, 2 sodas a day sometimes, most likely just 1, and that's supposed to be really bad. I also drink a lot of water with it.
Yeah.
But if my parents or dad had one, like a history of kidney stones, I would assume I've had 3 already. But the fact that I don't think my dad has had 1, I think part of it is hereditary. But part of it is, I think,
I'm
diet
sure,
as
yeah.
well, and
Yeah, probably.
the amount of water for sure is the key.
Maybe it's caused by swinging.
Well,
Mr. Smith is a swinger, right? I wouldn't think swinging would cause.
No.
God, that'd be so funny if a doctor goes,
Gallstones.
how much swinging? And be honest with me, have you done this month?
I always keep a bottle of cranberry juice in the fridge and take a swig out of it at least once a day to avoid kidney stones because I've heard about kidney stone stories. And it sounds about like the worst thing ever humanly possible. So I'm doing everything to avoid doing that.
I think they have something that eliminates the stone, but it's also a shot.
They
I don't
can
know if it-
laser. I think they can laser it out.
Yeah, I think they
But
break it up with a laser.
I don't want lasers down there. I don't want to have to pass it. I just don't want to have to deal with it.
I don't mind lasers. I mind the amount of money I'm going to spend on the lasers.
Well, hopefully your insurance will pick that up.
For laser kidney stone removal?
Sure.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean,
it's
I
not
guess.
cosmetic surgery.
Right. It's not like you're getting.
Is
a
it
boob job.
invasive? It seems invasive.
I wouldn't think you'd even feel it if it's a laser.
Is that up to me? That's invasive. I'm dropping my trowel and you're getting up in my junk to get a stone out of there, as if it's like some mission in Harry Potter game.
I don't know if they do that. They may go through your kidneys. It might go through your kidneys.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they. Yeah. Oof, man, just thinking about it. I mean, I've had most of my boys who've had it past them, and that sounds miserable.
I had some rather invasive procedures when I was in the hospital. I mean, as invasive as you could possibly get. But in the moment, you just deal with it.
Right.
Whatever it takes.
Like
you
in
just deal
terms
with
of
it.
like afterwards, you're like, should I give this guy my number?
Yeah. Yeah.
The pain of kidney stones has been compared to childbirth. This is coming from a nurse who's had both. That's from Smitty.
I guess childbirth, but it's very short term. Like, I remember I was around I lived with a buddy that had it, and it was like he was screaming at like 2 a.m. because it just started.
Yeah.
Like literally fetal position, like rocking. But once you get some fluids in you, so once you get to the hospital, I guess the pain maybe subdues a little bit, but still. I heard that initial pain is unreal.
Really?
And I've seen it firsthand. That looked terrible.
Well, we don't need any of that.
No. So is lasers just dumb speak for general science that we don't understand? Because they definitely use sound waves, not some sort of intergalactic piercing light. That's from Arbor Day.
Yeah, could you imagine everybody putting on a welding mask? All right, like, get this bitch.
I imagine like the Death Star blowing up Princess Leia's planet. That's what they used, and just blast it out of there.
Well, that's probably a little bit off in the future.
I had a friend in high school whose dad ate a jar of Tums each week, and he had a kidney stone the size of a baseball.
Oh!
That's from Suckboy Tonya Seward. Yeah, that's like my worst nightmare. Why are you eating so many Tums? You're just constantly eating chili all day, and you have to have the Tums?
Yeah, I've never had a Tums.
You never had it?
I've kind of have a cast iron stomach. Yeah.
Oh, I do too, but I usually do like the dissolvable antacids if I do have any like.
That feels so 80s and 90s.
Oh.
Alka-Seltzer or something.
Don't make the sound effect.
Or like drinking the pink Pepto-Bismol. Like they make Tums. Like they make.
I don't
Tums.
ever do that.
Pepto's legit though, because you can feel it casing your stomach lining. That's when you know it works. You
Does
can
it
feel
taste bad?
It doesn't taste great. I wouldn't say it tastes
Like
worse.
pink
Better
and
than like
milky.
Robitussin. Once you get out that, what is it, City Red Robitussin? God bless
Pepto-Bismol
America.
City Red.
Oh, that is definitely pure City Red.
Speaking of City Red, so Saturday, Doug, tomorrow, we have Missouri Tigers tipping off at 5:10
Week.
Battlehawks kicking off at 6
I'll be there representing.
And then the Dogs kicking off at 7:30
Huh.
I mean, that's kind of working out. I mean, if you're going to the Battlehawks game, you'll probably miss most of the Tiger game.
Right.
And if you're going to the Dogs game, you might miss like the last 10 minutes of the Tiger game.
The zoo game.
But you can if you're watching at home, it's kind of perfect because you can switch back and forth with the Battlehawks and the Tigers, and then once the Tiger game's over, you switch to the Dogs game, watch both the Dogs and Battlehawks. But I ask again, if you're in the text inbox, text on into the Engineered Design Facilities text on inbox, what you'll be, because everyone, I know people say like they'll switch around, but like what will you mostly be watching? Because now that Missouri's playing Princeton, I don't know if that changes. Had they been playing Arizona? I don't know where people are. So text on in. In the meantime, I would like to hear about our text inbox sponsor, of course. That is Engineered Design Facilities.
If you have visibility to your company or place of business's commercial fire alarm panel and system, please email us at fire@edf-rg.com. And Engineer Design Facilities will have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com. rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. EDF is Missouri and Illinois preferred full-service vendor for licensed and certified professional servicing, monitoring, and testing for fire alarm services and systems, fire suppression systems, fire alarm system monitoring services, tenant improvements and construction, security access and monitoring services. It's engineered design facilities online at edf-rg.com.
Scott Trinkle Ballsack saying WBC USA versus Venezuela at 6 p.m. as well. Big Don Johnson, here's the lineup. You go UFC until tip-off of Mizzou, then you flip to the Battlehawks at halftime, then finish Mizzou, and then tie one off with the Doggies. That's from Big Don Johnson. I'll be watching Missouri and Dennis Gates. Ray King says, I'm going to the Dogs game. Woof, woof. Doug, let me sniff your butt.
Hey!
At the Battle Dome, baby, tailgating with all the other Battlehawk crazies.
It's almost going to be too cold to tailgate, isn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't tailgate for several hours.
Let's see
They
what
say
the
wind chill
forecast-
could be like in the teens or so.
Let's take a look on.
That sounds tough.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the weather for tomorrow's, Doug. That's the 18th of March.
Yeah, sure it is.
Let's see. No, take your time, weather app. Tomorrow we have a low of 22 degrees with plenty of wind. And the high, Doug, don't worry, it's a high of 34.
Right.
So it can peak at 34 tomorrow.
So if you're standing outside at night tailgating before a nighttime football game,
yeah,
and
25
the wind is
windy.
blowing and it's 25 degrees, it's going to be freezing. You know, there's not going to be much tailgating going on.
I can't imagine, but man, people are. I mean, at the Bills games, they're tailgating no matter the weather. So, and I think the Bills' atmosphere is kind of similar in a way to what the Battlehawks are doing right now.
You're talking about Buffalo Bills or St. Louis Billikens?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, but that's kind of a whole culture thing. They're
Right.
used to it up there.
Right. But hey, but maybe people will try to establish a culture here. If there are people, a lot of people tailgating, you know, all the power to you. I'm a Ravioli Boys and Battlehawks season ticket member. Choose the B-Hawks for tomorrow. The Battle Dome will be nice and hot when it's 20 degrees outside. It's from the Suck Boy, Tony of Soulard.
Yeah. You'll be a lot more comfortable at the Dome, for
The
sure.
Dome better have some NCAA tournament games on now.
Like where on the scoreboard?
Where are they going to put it? They won't.
They have TVs by the concessions.
I don't think they'll do that.
I haven't been to the Dome since the Great Ram era,
Oh, it's a great building.
where losers definitely have fun there.
Well, it's going to be a cold, cold soccer game, though.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I was kind of talking about this on Balloon Party yesterday. If you're a dog season ticket holder and you have tickets for every home game, it's going to be 20 degrees outside with wind, and you have NCAA tournament going on and the Battlehawks going on. You can still watch the Dogs on television.
Yeah.
And you know you have all these tickets where it's going to be, you know, in the 70s and 80s for the rest of the season because they mostly play at night. Wouldn't this be the one be like, I might skip this one?
I don't
know
know.
that they're at the top of the table.
Right.
And I
Don't
know,
take tables.
and I know that things are
God,
going well
yes.
for the Dogs, but maybe this is the game where I, you know, sell my tickets, you know, try to get my money back and hang out at home. I feel like that's going to be a lot of people's
Could be.
thoughts.
But
it's
if you're
all-
not real hardcore,
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that wouldn't miss it no matter what the weather's
Sure,
like.
sure. I think that's
Especially
plenty.
only the second game, still undefeated, still very much into it in a big way. So I expect the place will be packed. I kind of hope so. I hope people don't give up on them the first time the weather gets sour, because it's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
You play this time of year.
Yeah. I don't know what this means. Hey, old man, the Battlehawk game is at 6. That is not the night. Maybe for you, who goes to bed at 7. That's from Mr. Bojangles.
Well, 6 is the evening, right? Like,
6 is the
technical
evening.
term,
it's a night
evening is
game.
night.
It's a night game.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah,
I'll be at the
motivation.
Dogs games with my season tickets. No twink in my DNA. That's from 314. Hey, I mean, God bless.
Yeah, I think most will show up.
I have a lot of respect for those who are passionate about it and will show up and make another great atmosphere for the Dogs' second home game. I'm just saying, like, me personally, like, if I was a season ticket holder, I might pass on this game. And I know that now will make me anti-soccer guy.
Yeah.
But that is kind of how I feel about it. I will definitely be watching Missouri-Princeton because Mizzou is very likely to win. And the coaching battle between Gates and I have always a bad time pronouncing the Princeton coach's name. Kirill? I think
That was the old guy that's been gone for years. They got a young guys that coach there now.
Right, but Kirill is the name. That was like the famous coach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can never pronounce his name.
Oh, well, just get close.
But I don't like, and again, like Missouri should be favored against Princeton, but to say that, oh, Missouri will most likely win, they just beat the number 2 seed Arizona, who just beat UCLA, who is also a 2 or 3 seed, correct?
They're a 2 seed.
In the NCAA tournament. So, like, I know Princeton on paper, yeah, it should be a pretty nice, easy win. But these teams, man, take that momentum and roll with it. St. Peter's, on paper, should have got rolled by 20 in every game they played.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just something about the NCAA
March,
tournament. So,
right. Well, there's no such thing as an easy win in March. Like, you're going to have to grind
In
out
March,
every
yes.
single win, unless you're a 1 versus 16 seed. And we've seen how that has turned out when people overlook them. So I'm not overlooking these Princeton Tigers, coached by Mitch Henderson now, Doug.
Yeah.
Kirill.
You can pronounce Henderson.
I got that one, Mitch Henderson.
All
Yeah, I like Mitch Henderson a lot. He showed a lot yesterday, and I thought that I don't know, I liked watching Princeton yesterday. Like, I enjoyed, and obviously I was rooting for them, but at the same time I was like, man, these guys are pretty good.
They do have a big guy who's pretty good.
Yeah.
they have a couple of dudes who are, I mean, Arizona has 2 like 7-footers, right? Like, they have it ridiculous.
Arizona has Bialo and Tavelis. Tavelis, of course, an All-American. And they're monsters, on top of Courtney Ramey from Webster Groves. And,
Poor him, man. You see his reaction after that.
Yeah, I know. He had a shot too late and missed it. It was a super contested shot. But
what do you do if you're 7'2" and your college basketball season career ends and you're not an NBA player or a professional player? Then you got to live the rest of your life struggling to get in and out of cars and
be
find
7'2"
clothes.
and working at like a car dealership or something.
And everywhere you go, people say, "So who'd you play for?
Right. No.
How's the weather up there?"
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would if you're 7'2" and played at high level Division I basketball, you're probably playing either in the NBA or overseas, like for a good amount of while.
Imagine being Courtney Ramey. Texas was kind of struggling there. He was a good player there.
He's a good player for Texas.
Oh, no,
He
he's
had
really good. But I meant just
teams.
watching the team he just transferred out of, now having a first round win, still in the tournament, and the team he transferred to just lost to a 15 seed, and you're out. Like, that's got to be pretty demoralizing.
Yeah.
And I love Courtney Ramey. I thought he made the right decision going to Texas. He kind of wanted to pave his own way. I kind of like that.
Yeah, you look at the landscape when Courtney was committing to play at Missouri.
Was it Shaka?
Shaka was the coach.
Was he the coach at the time?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Jackson, do you think Trey Gamillion plays on Saturday? If so, that intangibles he can bring to the squad. Jin Thompson. I don't know. Gamillion's been day-to-day for like weeks now, so I can't say one way or the other. But, yeah, he brings a lot to the table. I think that the X factor with Missouri that, like, teams haven't yet figured out, really, some teams have, but Kobe Brown. Like, that's the difference. When Mizzou wins, it's usually because Kobe Brown played really, really well. Because when he commands a double team, like if Princeton starts out doubling Kobe, I'm excited because that opens up lanes for shooters. It opens up a lot of things when you start doubling him. And if you don't, you're on an island with him. And at 6'8", 250 with lightning quick feet, a really good ability to finish around the rim, and a guy who can stretch the floor, he is a big problem. And that's why, like, he might not be an NBA player. He might be. He might be a G League player. But when you're that big and that fast with the skills he has, a lot of teams could use your services.
He could play for somebody in the NFL, too, you would think.
Right, 6'8", 250.
Wouldn't he be a pretty good defensive end?
Tight end, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be a problem anywhere. Battlehawks game is way more important than the Dogs game. Sorry, Soccer Boys. It's from 618.
Why is it more important?
Are either of them important? And I'm happy for both, but what... You're talking about an 8-team league and 4 of them make the playoffs. A little too early to get excited about any of that. I love the Battlehawks. I can't wait to go on Saturday. And you're talking about, the 4th game of a 38-game season or whatever it is? Nothing is important about either one of these games. But they are going to be fun, and the city will be rocking, and that's awesome. But the importance level isn't there.
Hey, guys, any tips to get warm at the Dogs game besides urinating on each other in the men's room? That's from Mr. Fong, the owner.
Well, it should be 72 degrees in there.
Well, that's Iggy's kind of forte.
Dogs game, not Battlehawks.
Oh.
Dogs game.
Well, not going helps, I think.
Well, if people are standing up and jumping and yelling and screaming and packed in there tightly, that'll help.
Yeah, when it's standing room only, you can get really close to somebody because you don't have armrests in the way.
I bet that's one thing they'll have figured out a couple hundred years from now is how to warm up a stadium like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they know how to warm up the field. Like, they can warm up the field, but it's kind of tough.
Giant heat lamps hovering above the
stadium.
stadium.
They know how to keep the player warm. The fans are peasants, though.
Maybe the heat should come from your feet. You know, they have vents down below, so the heat rises and warms you up.
What about the Chick-fil-A heaters?
Oh, those are incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Those are insane. And you could have those just dangling
Like
over
driving range heaters.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
guys, Battlehawks only play 4 home games, so by far it's more important. That's from the 618 thing that I texted in.
It's more rare. Right. Whether it's more important, I don't know.
I think we need to stop using the I word. But I agree, only 4 home games. You got to respect and enjoy every one of them.
What kind of crowd are they looking for on this one?
I think 35, 38,000, I think was the estimated, but you never know.
Well,
I'll
that'd be
there.
nice if they can get that many.
So pumped.
Skin-on-skin contact is the best way to stay warm. It's not gay, it's science. It's from the Total Package.
You're not going to want to go
You imagine there's a
topless when
whole
it's-
row with like a pile of clothes and everybody is just naked in like a centipede form.
Yeah.
At a
Conga
soccer
line,
game?
just.
Why is there a Congo?
Well, that's how it is. They're just huddled next to each
So
other.
are they doing Europe for some of these games?
I haven't seen the video of that.
Oh.
No, if you want to stay warm, Doug, you protect your neck. Wu-Tang Clan.
Your neck?
Yeah, you wear a scarf maybe, or you zip that coat. You lose a lot of heat in the neck area if you can protect your neck.
Yeah.
And your ears. I don't know about you, but my ears get really cold.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
Mine too.
Doug, stop complaining about the weather. They have scarves for a reason. That's from this
Oh
same
my
guy.
God,
He's
those
really
are
randy.
like decorative scarves. Those aren't actually scarves that warm your body.
Well, I suppose they couldn't they? You wrap around your neck a few times.
Well, that radiating, heated pink jersey probably would help more than the scarf.
You think?
Oh, that thing's fire.
Plowsy. I'm sorry. It's called a retractable roof, Doug, and we don't have to wait 100 years. The technology is here now. It's from Plowsy's dog guy.
God, they're like $200 million though. It's amazing how expensive just adding a roof to an open air stadium is.
I don't like retractable roofs. I'm going to come out and say
I
it
love
flat
them.
out.
I love them.
I don't like them.
I wish Busch Stadium had it. Never have to sit through a 100-degree day there or rain delay. The game's always going to start on time. I love it. I'd love it.
I think all the retractable roof stadiums are really ugly. Like think of like when you think of the best stadiums in baseball, I think Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, Dodger Stadium, Yankee Stadium.
When the weather's nice, you're not thinking that when it's raining.
Oh, you got to put the Trop in there.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think of the ugliest stadiums. I think of like the Diamondbacks. I think of the Trop. I think of Miami. All those.
They're comfortable though. The one in Seattle's nice. It's got a retractable roof.
Yeah, but it's got that giant thing on the side of it where the retractable roof is housed, and it looks ridiculous.
I don't care if it's raining out there, if it's cold, and I'm comfortable. I don't really care what it looks like.
If you've been in the bleachers right field at like a noon or 2 o'clock game in the summer of July, you can't even actually sit there. Because you're not alive. You have like the heat from this. You can't sit down. You can't avoid the sun. It's absolutely miserable.
I have sat on a seat at Busch Stadium right in the middle of the sun when it was like 98 degrees, and I was wearing shorts, and it hurt my skin.
No.
Like the skin on my legs actually started to hurt because it was so hot.
I
Like those
know.
metal rivets got really hot.
See, I can do without that. I don't care if there's a roof sliding around up there.
Yeah, and I think the worst part of all that is like you're sitting in that sun and you're watching a 4-hour baseball game too.
Yeah.
Like that's tough.
Jackson just named all old stadiums except for the Yankees from Brad and Boca. Well, I'll go. It's Oracle Park where the Giants play, another beautiful stadium, relatively new. I think a lot of people think what's the PNC Park where the Pirates play, open air, really beautiful.
Man, what they did to that Rangers stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's
To
what I'm
make it-
saying. It
to
looks
make
like
it
a,
look
looks like
like
a
a-
warehouse.
But
it's
it's
like a
so
Costco.
hot there that people won't go. It's so darn hot in Dallas in the summer. People won't go because of that.
The Rangers literally, it looks like a Burlington warehouse. Like it's like a 2 or 3 tiered like just shopping center.
But those California stadiums are in areas where the weather's so nice. San Diego, L.A. They don't need a
Atlanta Stadium, sick. The new Minnesota Vikings Stadium is unbelievable. Like those are 2 stadiums that are recent. I don't know if they are either one of them retractable roofs. Have no idea about that.
I think Minnesota's
Minnesota
indoors,
is-
but it's got
looks-
like a glass
Yeah.
ceiling, so it's kind of like that. I would like retractable roof football stadiums. I actually do think look good, like way better than a dome. I still think open air is the way to go.
God, Minnesota's looks so freaking cool.
but that's
man.
enclosed. It's got a glass.
Yeah,
ceiling.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
But like Jerry World has a retractable roof.
Oh, that's too gaudy. It's just too, and it doesn't even look good on the outside.
Well,
inside pretty cool.
Here, I'll ask you, Plowhawk, if the Packers were to renovate Lambeau, would you want a retractable roof at Lambeau?
No, and they did recently renovate it within the last 15 years, and I don't even know if retractable roof was even on the docket. They'll never do that because of the snow. They love the snow
That's part
game,
of
the
their thing.
tradition.
It gives them an
there.
advantage.
Right, exactly. It's almost a competitive.
Did you know fans for free go there before the game and shovel the entire stadium?
Yeah.
Inside and out, and all they get is free coffee and donuts. But being inside the stadium, they do it all for free. How amazing is that?
It's owned by the people. I mean, the Packers organization is. My buddy Herb, my boy Herb.
Oh yeah, I talked to her.
Big Milwaukee. He's a Milwaukee Bucks fan and a huge Packer fan, and he is, the 0.0001% owner of the Packers.
Yeah, it's a cool concept that they have. It's meaningless because I have one
Right,
too.
exactly.
Like in the grand scheme of things, but it is fun to know that they wouldn't have any of that added ever.
Right.
What they did to that new stadium is amazing.
A good way to stay warm for the Dogs game is cargo pants and the pockets stuffed with piping hot tater tots, hush puppies, and sausage gravy. That's
Not a bad idea.
Could you imagine walking around with a pocket full of sausage gravy?
God, it'd be so warm though. Like your legs would be warm.
And it's not in any kind of pouch or packet. It's just loose in your pocket.
You've got lint floating to the top.
When your hands get cold, you just dip it in the gravy.
Can you imagine getting done going to the bathroom and get a little cold, so before you wash your hands, you just dip it in gravy and walk
then you
to the
can lick your
sink.
fingers for the flavor. Not a bad idea.
Just the visual of that, of you pulling out a hush puppy out of one pocket, opening another, hammering it down in there, submerging the hush puppy in the pocket gravy, and then eating it. The Benz Dome in Atlanta has a retractable roof that opens in a circle, and from the sky, it looks like a bee-hole named Linda. That's from Alan Dayville, looking forward to another 7-win Georgia season.
You can make beautiful retractable roof stadiums. It just requires some smart architecture. You can do it.
I don't mean to call attention, but what was that noise? Because it almost
pulling up the 9 o'clock hour song.
Gotcha. It almost made me fall out of my chair.
It is, of course, an Acura. God love them. They are amazing. Go to Munganess if you're looking for an Acura.
Sure.
But it was an ad for Acura. That's why it sounded so cool.
It almost jolted me out of my seat. I almost
Jason
fell
Barrett.
out of my seat. If people want to go on YouTube, youtube.com/TMASTL, and back it up a little, you'll see a moment where I almost exploded out of my chair. Playing baseball in the Dome is like trying to swim in 5 feet of snow. It's sacrilegious. That's from the 636.
No, but also these are the same people that complain about rainouts and. I think it just works. Rainouts are stupid. They're dumb. It's annoying. It ruins the entire schedule.
It does.
You get to playoff time and you talk about that one game you had to reschedule when you had to play a doubleheader, and that's like the cost of the playoffs. No, don't rain out any game. My God, in 2023, figure out a way.
Well, what if the
play.
rain's not going to stop?
Dude, have you seen soccer? And all the.
I thought you were talking about baseball.
No, I'm saying just in general, other sports play in soaking rain.
You can't play baseball in a driving rainstorm.
They race F1 race cars in pouring rain, going like 200 miles an hour. You're telling me a baseball player can't line up with a glove and wait for a ground ball?
They stop NASCAR races when it's raining.
Baseball players are divas, bro.
You can't play baseball and
my bat's wet. I can't use all the pine tar to make my stop.
What kind of game are you going to have if it's driving rain and wind and lightning and everything?
Ball. You can't even grip. You can't
play
grip the baseball.
Well, that's their fault. Get bigger hands, I guess.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
Put your big boys in who aren't wearing diapers and get them in there. Baseball players are babies, man. Babies.
Well, the sport is so much different. You could play football or soccer in rougher weather than you can baseball.
Right, and also baseball, they play 162 games compared to 17 in football. So.
I don't think they should be playing anywhere close to that many games. 102 would be perfect. Knock a 60
Just
piece
100.
off of
How'd
that.
you come up with 102?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird number.
Knock a 60 piece, which knocks about 2 months off the season, is my point.
Give them even more.
Knocks
a lot of money off what
just
they make.
End it in August and be done. We're literally playing baseball in November. We're playing baseball now in November. Yeah. It's dumb as hell. It is 20 degrees where 90% of your games are played in 80, 90, 100-degree weather. It's ridiculous.
But won't it warm you up to see Paul DeYoung hitting third with Lars Nootbaar right behind him in November?
Well, didn't Paul DeYoung...
He's hurt now.
Didn't Goldschmidt hit like 110 in November?
He struggled in the cold. Well, they didn't play in November last season.
Well, they didn't last year, yeah. I can't believe their Mr. October is ruined now. That whole mystique, because it isn't Mr. October, because you actually just played in the DS. You still got 2 rounds to go.
Yeah.
Like playing in November of baseball is ridiculous.
Well, that's kind of rare. Maybe if the World Series runs long, you might.
You're talking about pouring down rain. Baseball is just as hard when it's 10 degrees.
Yeah, you can't. They'll call those games off too.
No, I mean they just play them, and it's
Not
a
in 10-degree
1-0.
weather. They don't.
1-0 game. That's all you see in the playoffs now. Just pitchers duels.
Yeah, I mean, they play 162 games in 180 days. Hardly divas. That's from Stan the Caddy.
I mean, what kind of effort? No offense, baseball players are athletic, but
well, sure they
like
are.
if you're looking at a right fielder or a left, like they're kind of just standing for a while. You know, they might make routine plays.
Well,
but
just because they don't crash into each other like football or hockey players doesn't mean that they're wimps and divas. You don't get to that level. They are standing up there facing baseballs coming at their head at 98 miles an hour.
they have a resting heart rate for like 90% of the game.
That's kind of
Like
the tough part.
what's
kind of tough is that you always have to be paying attention. You always have to be ready. It's
Oh, man.
It's static movement. You have to be ready.
162
immediately to
games
go.
to keep your eyes open, man. Grind. That's a grinder.
It's not as
That's grinding.
physically telling as a lot of other sports. Nobody claims it is, but they're still tough guys.
You
You
have
don't make
some
it that
guys
level
that don't
without
play
being,
for a week.
Well, they get hurt.
No, I'm talking like that pitchers just don't play for like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah. It's because throwing a baseball
Those
that
guys
hard,
are champions.
well, sure, some of them are, yeah.
Woo. I like our club, and I think baseball's fun, but I don't know if I would consider them like hardcore athletes.
Did Plowboy go to Harvard or Yale? It's from TJ. I'm sorry.
Stop. Western.
Well, if you threw
The Yale of the Midwest.
if you threw 90 pitches at maximum effort on your
Okay.
arm, you don't think you'd need a few days off to recover from that?
I get it. And pitchers are the ones that are actually, and catchers, since they're kneeling and they have full equipment. I'm talking, there's a couple plays where, the shortstop diving on the ground. But for the most part, you're playing a game making $10 million a year and you have a resting heart rate for 80-90% of the game.
Not a lot of guys make it. I mean, a smaller percentage.
Yeah, but you're probably right on the salary.
Just the
thing.
nature of the sport. If you don't like the sport, that's one thing. But to say the people that excel at it are wimps because they're playing baseball, that's not accurate.
Oh, I just think not wanting to play in the rain or not. I think they should play in all weather. Sports should never be canceled.
Guys, I really like the portion of the show where the worst athlete on the day is talking about how professional athletes aren't really athletes. It's great. That's from the 314.
Worst athlete on the day is
Ran a 7-minute mile.
7-minute mile, bro.
Right.
7-minute
school
mile. 7-minute mile. 28 on Sean Livingston. Can't underestimate
That
these
was also
things.
20 years ago.
Doesn't matter.
You'd do it again if he showed up today.
Yeah. Screw your 4 championships. I run the board.
I would hug Sean Livingston if he was here. One of my favorites.
Would he remember you as a guy that torched
Hell
him?
no, dude. But
He
what
had him on a dartboard growing up
yeah,
after that
what he
game.
done for the community of Peoria, man, he kills it. I love him. He's
Yeah,
great.
he's an executive with the Warriors. That's why I think that's how he got his 4th championship.
Love the guy. Peoria legend.
Yeah, he is. Is Andre Iguodala from Peoria or Springfield?
Nah, Springfield. He played for Springfield Napier, I think is one of the private schools out there.
Are you a Canton legend? When you go back there, do they roll out the red carpet for you?
No, they can't hate people that leave.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those little towns where if you leave and are more successful, you're an ass. So.
Because you're too good for Canton.
Yeah, I'm too good. I'm too cool. I don't visit enough, and I never go to Canton now. Now that my parents are out, like I have no reason.
Yeah.
I have nowhere to stay either.
Some of your old friends resent you for leaving?
No, none of my boys.
What's up,
'cause
city boy?
Anybody who resents me for leaving is definitely not a friend of mine. I have zero care. I cut a lot of people off, but.
What about
no, my
Mace Dog?
boys. Mace Dog, great. He lives in
down on you?
Collinsville.
Oh, he does.
Reefer, I play video games with him almost on a daily basis. D-Dub, Rickinaw, Dever, talk to them on a daily.
I like Rickinaw. I like the name Rickinaw.
What's that mean?
That's his last name.
Rickinaw is his last name?
Yeah, Kyle Rickinaw.
Sounds like rickshaw.
Love
How do you
the
spell
deal.
that?
Rikena.
I never heard a name like that before.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him
His dad is like 6'7", like 290, 300. Dude's
Really?
a stud. Was a swimmer.
Oh, wow. With those dimensions.
Well, no, his dad was. Kyle was a
Oh,
swimmer,
gotcha.
but our boy was a great swimmer a year ahead of us, and he got a full ride to Northwestern to swim.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bigwig somewhere in Chicago. Yeah. So Canton breeds athletes.
Oh, I would say it does. Yeah.
Hey, fellas, maybe it's the subterranean expectations I had for today's show, but hey, it's not terrible. Good stuff, guys. That's from Arbor Day. I think that's nice.
I think I was a little worried how the show, because we don't
The
talk.
show's horrible under any circumstances. Doesn't matter who's here, who's not here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a big accomplishment that we could sit here and gab for 3 hours,
No.
vamp around. But you know what is an accomplishment?
What?
Working with Design Air. Because if you
Oh,
establish that you
really?
have a problem before it becomes a problem, well, then
That's
you're
key,
in such a great shape. Plowbot, can I hear a little bit about Design Air?
Design Air Heating and Cooling is the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. And it is real easy for me to tell you about Design Air Heating and Cooling because they are online at designairservice.com. And I, along with Doug Vaughn, am a client of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and they have done wonders for both of our homes. And anytime we have had an issue or you have an issue, all you have to do is go to designairservice.com and a little chat bubble will pop up and one of their service techs will be online chatting with you immediately. Their emergency service is so good. So if you run into a problem with your furnace and it's going to be cold, make sure that you work with Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show. It's the great Seth Goldcamp and Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
Now, can I will apologize. I'm a little banty. This Illinois loss, I don't know what it's doing. It hurts way more than what it did last year. I guess maybe because the expectations going into like August and September, season's very long. You know, obviously with the transfer and the recruiting, it feels like it's a 24/7, 365 season.
Well, in non-conference, you beat UCLA and Texas.
Yeah, that's what makes it even worse is like I watched the team at its peak when they're all clicking, and that's a Final Four Elite Eight style team. And what I saw the last 2 months and yesterday, I don't know why. Usually I get over these. Usually I don't care. I'm similar to you, Doug, to where I just aged out of the real emotion. At least so I thought, but it's killing me, man.
Really?
I hate
Come
that-
on, get over that. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
I hate that they're like, Jackson, you can understand, there's like 45 other teams and fans with like rooting interest and investment, and that kind of pisses me off even more. I love that Missouri has a chance to go to the Sweet 16. At the same time, I hate it so much.
Right. No. I hear you.
Because that could be my team.
Misery makes you spiteful.
Yeah.
Do you think the turning point in the season was the bragging rights game?
Yeah. Oh, Missouri absolutely should cheer even
Suck the
more
heart
so.
right out of 'em.
They should, even if they don't get to the Sweet 16, what they did to their rival in terms of absolutely, they created a junior college atmosphere right after that game.
I will say, being at
brutal.
that game, watching Illini fans funnel out at like the beginning of the second half was pure ecstasy.
Well, that's still the best tweet, I think, was Gabe, or was it Dave Matter? And it was on the fan page a couple of days ago, just to kind of revert back. It's Illinois scores, cuts it to 30.
They were up 35 at one point. It was conceivable that Mizzou might 40 ball the number 18 team.
It was probably the best game Mizzou played all year.
100%. It might have been the worst Illinois played all year. And I watched some bad games that they played this year. Couple against Penn State, who's actually really good. I thought yesterday's game was just a disaster in shooting percentage. Against Mizzou, they could do nothing.
And,
right from
everything
the
Mizzou
jump.
did worked. Mizzou was hitting shots from all over the place.
Yeah, it was just a time. Like sometimes in
But I didn't
basketball,
go to
you
that
get your ass kicked. Like there's no Mizzou got their ass kicked by Auburn. Mizzou got their ass kicked by Kansas. They got their ass kicked by Alabama the first time around. Sometimes in basketball, it doesn't matter who you are or who you're playing. Sometimes you simply get your ass kicked. And I think people are too hard on, maybe because they're in like a college football mindset where every game matters. But in the end of it, it's a game is just a chapter of the book. Like the whole book isn't written until the last game. And so you can't judge a team on one game. You can't chastise a team for one game. I did get this here in the contact where you can contact us through the TMA STL app. Feel free to do so. You can address the entire dais or each individual. And someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, brother, just started streaming. I'm in Colorado this morning. I'm sure you already touched on this, but I bet the under on 4 heavy favorites and hit them all. You're the man. Grab a cold one on me. I'll send you a Venmo." That's from, I'll just do initials, PG, because I don't know if he wants his name, but PG sent that to me. Thank you. I actually said to bet the under on the 16 and 1 seed games, and all of those went way over. So if you followed that, I apologize, but if you kind of took my advice and twisted it a little bit, bet the under on some heavy favorites, then you did get paid. So shout out to that guy.
And this guy's going to buy you a beer.
That's nice. I don't need it. I do these things for free. I gave actually bad advice.
Did you?
Results-oriented. That's a results-oriented opinion on it, but I stick by the process. But VCU today, VCU as they take on
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. I would take the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah, I would too.
I do have a question. I guess for both, more so Jackson. Doug,
sure.
At your stage, at your fandom, I don't know if you'll understand what I'm saying. Would you ever be interested in going to Vegas Sportsbook for March Madness?
1,000%.
Okay.
If Missouri wasn't in it.
I think I'm with you on that too.
If Missouri wasn't in it.
Because I want to watch games by myself, listen to the commentary. Literally hate watching games at bars.
I just want to be
important games that
focused,
matter.
But
have you ever been to March Madness in Vegas?
No,
or ever wanted to?
At any point in my life, I would not have wanted to do that. I'm not a gambler.
Right.
It just seems like throwing money away. It's burning money. So I won't do it.
Last time I went to Vegas, I gambled a total of $20 in a slot machine.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the gambling for me because I don't sports bet. I think it'd be fun to do. I think it puts a lot of skin in the game. I understand why people do it. I would go strictly just for the atmosphere. I kind of would like to see people be demoralized from a buzzer beater that ruins one of the bets.
You want to see people have their hearts ripped out.
Or reverse, a buzzer beater that hits to hit the over, to have a guy win $5 or $10,000. He's buying drinks for everybody, going crazy. I think I like the atmosphere. I probably wouldn't put any money on any games. I would be too afraid to do that.
I'm going to call that play.
Well, maybe, yeah. I guess I would want to
so
for the
easy
experience.
to. Like, you just walk up to somebody and say, I want this team to win, and you hand them money.
The sportsbook there are insane.
Yeah,
it's literally insane what they've done to sportsbooks at every casino. It looks like another casino is attached to it.
Yeah.
And it would just be like if I went for the first weekend where they have like 2 or 3 games on at a time for 8 hours straight. Like, yeah, that would be as cool as it gets. But they also do it like by the pools too, where they'll have 20 massive screens by the pool and people are just hanging out.
That?
I don't know. I've never been to Las Vegas, so.
Oh, you would love it.
I know. I want to go. I want to go.
But that
is like $100 to go to the pool now too at those pools.
Oh, it's expensive. If you're staying at that hotel, usually the hotels have a casual pool, similar to what Jamaica had, that big pool, but it also had pools on the side.
Yeah.
But most hotels will have cabanas and bottle service and like private areas, and sometimes a strictly pay-only pool, like, big, lavish. But there are always resorts will have, basic family-style hotels, with the jacuzzi. But now, with the TVs and stuff, they're making a lot of them private, to where, some cabanas are $80, $100, $150.
Doug, that's when you wear your nipple rings. You show off your nipple rings.
I don't have.
But if it's
don't notice that.
But if it's for all day and you get one bottle of champagne, there's usually a bottle included in that, and it's probably not great liquor or champagne. But if you're planning on posting up for 8 or 10 hours and you have a designated area to sit and relax, I think that's worth it. If you're going there for one game.
You couldn't get comfortable for 8 to 10 hours, could you? Sitting on a
The cabanas have, I think those are way more than a Chase Lounge. Some of those are really quite fancy.
Doug, you have a problem with the term Shays Lounge?
I don't like it actually
I don't like the way
at
it's
all.
spelled. I don't like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the Chase Lounge. Is it Chase?
It's like
Chaz or
Chase.
Chase?
It's like CHAISE
Yeah.
or some
There might be a
craziness.
mark in there.
I'm already over that name.
Yeah, I'm so bitter about it.
Yeah. Well, we're not bitter about this presentation. This 3-man weave is firing on all cylinders. Get involved whenever you would like. 314-881-TMA5. Call in 636-904 TMA. Comment on the YouTube stream, youtube.com/TMASTL, or just send us a message directly through the TMA STL app. We're going to close out this appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. We're going to move on to the 9 o'clock hour here. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After, broadcasting live from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. I've been the title sponsor of the Morning After for over a decade. And in these 10 years, I've learned a lot about shrubs and Dotem, and of course, our fearless leader, Tim. I honestly can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. Huge shout out and thank you to all the listeners. It's because of you that this is possible. Thank you for supporting the sponsors. If you ever need a home loan, I'm your guy. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Strode. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, it's Jackson from Mark Hanna. TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially. Saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Whether you're like me and starting your financial planning, or if you're already retired, call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors and insurance and annuity products through Equitable Network, LLC.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and we are thrilled to have another new sponsor on board the show. A couple of guys I have gotten to know. Longo Biggs, Injury Law, Doug Biggs, and CD Longo here with me. And CD, one of the things that I want our audience to know is this. When people get injured in an accident, they don't necessarily know what to do, and that's where you guys come into play.
Yeah, Tim, it can be a very confusing process. If you get hurt in a car accident or injured some other way, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to start a claim. We're going to take the hassle out of your hands and make the entire process very easy. Injury cases are potentially worth a lot of money. We're going to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. We're very excited to be part of the TMA family. We're hoping to have a lot of fun with this. If you are a loved one, do get injured, please remember us at Longo Biggs Injury Law. You can visit our website at longobiggs.com, and that is Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular Carne con Cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM, HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Aux is off. I keep turning Iggy's mic on and yours not. There we go.
Force ahead of it.
There we go. Everybody's working for the weekend. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Got a piece of my heart. Doug, do you like this song?
Sure. Who does this? Who sings this?
Loverboy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Welcome back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. 9 o'clock hour here. Just a little three-man weave action. Douglas, Elvin, Vaughn, Darren the Plowhawk Atkins on the ones and twos. I'm Action Jackson. Tim and Iggy are both out today. Iggy out ill. Tim is out. That was scheduled. So it's just the three of us, but we're hanging out. We're giving takes.
Sure we are.
It's kind of, it's a very smooth, kind of a sensual threesome we got going here.
I don't get that sense.
Oh, for sure. I feel it.
No, this is a hell of a trio. And we're just flat out breaking it down. We're talking tournament. We're talking kidney stones.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking St. Louis weather. We're talking retractable roofs. All the major topics that the St. Louis area is clamoring to hear about today, we're covering.
You know what we haven't talked about is the Mets losing their $20 million a year closer in a World Baseball Classic celebration.
Is there not video of that?
I haven't seen it.
I think this is the one time where it's like there's no video element to it. So it was apparently during the celebration.
Yeah, when
and I
the game
didn't
was
know.
over.
I didn't know that until I read it. I thought it was obviously when you read about an injury, it's during a game or during warm-ups. But and he was carried off.
He was.
And now he's out for the
Yeah,
year.
he needs surgery. Yeah, he's gonna miss a whole year.
And he was the hot. He kind of went viral last year for his trumpet intro. His
I thought Mizzou did that.
The song Narco.
And the Mets figure to be really good this year. Geez, he might have led the league in saves.
Well, also
they're a good team too. Really good team.
Is this a myth or is this? I don't typically dive deep into stories that I read. I just kind of say, hey, those are true.
Those are true?
Max Scherzer is contemplating not wanting to play because of the pitch count. Have you read about that or
No.
seen that in some way?
He's ready to quit.
Apparently he hates the pitch timer.
Yeah.
Hates it.
He's pretty intense.
And
About
he's
everything.
he's
it
a
seems.
guy that would just decide to hang it up because of that. Like
Here,
he's one of those
let me take a look and
personalities.
see what I can see about Max.
Well, if you've got $400 million in the bank, I suppose you can hang it up if you want to.
But yeah, they went all in. A closer is very important. I understand that. I mean, it's better that it's him maybe than a Francisco Lindor, or a Pete Alonso. You probably want to have those two players that play every day more so than the closer.
All right, I got an article here from ESPN.com via the Associated Press about Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer has theorized that baseball's new pitch clock will allow pitchers to dictate the pace of games. In the eyes of one umpire, he raced too fast even for the pitch timer on Friday. This is from March 3rd.
Okay.
Scherzer tested the boundaries of baseball's novel pace of play rules during his second spring training start, trying several unusual tactics to get Washington Nationals hitters off their game. At one point, he started throwing a pitch to Victor Robles the moment home plate umpire Jerry Riggs reset the clock, and Riggs called Scherzer for a balk. He calls time, I come set, I get the green light, Scherzer said. I thought that was a clean pitch. He said no. We have to figure out where the limit is. Major League Baseball's pitch clock has left pitchers and hitters learning a whole new pace of the game this spring. Players have 30 seconds to resume play between batters. Between pitches, pitchers have 15 seconds to deliver the ball with nobody on and 20 seconds if there's a base runner. Batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher with at least 8 seconds on the clock, and they get only one timeout per plate appearance. Some are adjusting and taking the advantage of the rules faster than others. New York Yankees reliever Wandy Peralta, I feel like
Go with it.
rushed through an at-bat so effectively Thursday, he completed a 3-pitch strikeout in only 20 seconds. Scherzer experimented with a few strategies Friday. Again, this is from March 3rd. With 2 on and 2 strikes against Riley Adams in the third inning, Scherzer froze in the set position and let the pitch clock tick down to 7 before Adams called timeout. On the next pitch, Scherzer as the 20-second clock started, Adams finally stepped into the box with the clock at 11 seconds, and Scherzer immediately delivered, getting a swinging strike on the 96-mile-per-hour fastball. So this is kind of what I'm reading here.
You could have been a jerk about it before the rules got set in place, too. You could stand there for 5 minutes and not pitch.
Yeah.
If you wanted to play that game.
And again, him getting paid, $42 million. I'm not saying he's retiring from the game of baseball. I just know from what I read that he hates the pitch clock and is very annoyed by it. Yeah. The season hasn't started yet, and there are going to be issues. There's already issues like in spring training of games ending with the guy not getting to the box, balks being called because the pitcher isn't set and ready in time. You're going to see games ending that way. I think you probably see a few of them have controversy attached.
I hope there are no games that end that way. That's the one.
I think
that's
they
the one
I think
switch
they
I
will.
would make is that the pitch clock goes off maybe in the 9th inning or maybe with 2 outs in the 9th. The pitch, so that a game cannot end because a pitcher didn't throw a ball quickly enough.
And the
I think the
umpire-
fans would really feel cheated if that happened.
There's a few umpires that love them some them. And would love to have that be the storyline. Because if the umps do it correctly, it doesn't matter about integrity of the game or anything. They're just going to call it like they're being taught to call it. And I think they're going to be strutting around, taking off their mask, players and coaches around them. They're just walking to the sidelines.
Yeah.
Game over.
But where Scherzer's concerned, it's not about whether one guy likes it or not. Right. It's about whether the fans and the people that support the game like it more. Because I mean, watching a game with Gallegos pitch for the Cardinals, that was brutal.
Yeah.
He would take sometimes 45, 50 seconds between pitches, and you ruin the entertainment value for everyone involved.
Right.
That's what they're trying to get rid of. Maybe they need to extend it from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. I think that would be okay. I don't think the games need to end in 2 hours and 20 minutes to be considered snappily played. If it was 2:40, 2:45, that'd be okay. It's just so many games are going 3 hours and 15 minutes and 20 minutes because of the constant pitching changes and the stepping out to adjust the batting gloves. That's just what they need to get rid of.
And it's hard to say, hey, games in spring training are X, so games in regular season are going to be X. You know, obviously managers care about spring training, but they're not doing, walking out to the mound. They're not, you're playing with guys that some of them are going to be in double, single A, kind of trying to get reps in. But I do like the pace of play in the spring training. 20 minutes, 25 minutes quicker. Again, I'm not saying the regular season could be as quick as what you're seeing in spring training. I like it, but look at what's happening in golf. They're trying to limit the distance on balls, I think it is, and you're seeing players and fans hate it. And I'm wondering who makes those decisions. If you're both of your fan base and your players both hate it, then why are there changes? Are the fans that important? Because I think the true fans, don't care about time of game. I do, because I'm a casual fan, and I think sitting there for 3.5 hours watching it on TV is boring as hell.
Well, what I would say more than the time of the game is baseball desperately needs to reestablish like a rhythm. Like there's so often there's no rhythm to the game. It's pitch and then a long break, timeouts, and it takes you completely out of the rhythm. This hopefully will establish a rhythm that people can track easier. And it just, I don't know, something about that, like something about a rhythm or a pace to the game improves it for me, because there's nothing worse than like when Gallegos would come in, like it's catch the ball at the front of the mound, walk to the back of the mound, then take your time. It's just brutal. Whereas like Jake Woodford on the other side of it catches it as soon as he catches it from the catcher is ready to pitch. And I know Gallegos is probably better than Woodford, but I would like Woodford coming in more because I knew that I would reestablish a rhythm to the game.
And Gallegos gonna be able to, I'm serious, able to pitch?
Yeah, he'll adjust.
Everyone's
gonna
in the
have to.
spring, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's going to adjust.
Because going from, and Doug's not exaggerating, it's about 45 to 50 seconds per pitch.
Yeah,
I mean, that's about
timed some of
average.
them
That's
on my
about
phone.
average.
Yeah.
And to go from that to nobody on it's 15 seconds?
Yeah.
That's
It's
I mean,
way better.
you're destroying 60, 70% of your typical rhythm that you've had since you were a kid.
But that's
that's
part
hard
of
to
the
adjust.
problem with baseball is that
It's only been long. And,
It's been long, but it's never like the 3+ hour games is. Doug, you're very young, but when like Bob Gibson,
Extremely young.
When Bob Gibson would throw, there are some games where he would never come out. 9 innings pitched, and
there was times it'd be 7 or 8 seconds between pitches.
Right.
And there was a few games. This is back when the pitchers were dominating the hitters just in general. But there was a few games that would be less than 2 hours. I don't remember people necessarily complaining about it. I'm sure the teams would like the fans to stick around longer than 2 hours. They'd love the fans to be there 3 hours or so for the concession sales and everything else.
Right.
But there is a happy medium, and maybe now they found it.
Yeah, my dad is a religious baseball watcher, watches every single Cardinal game without fail, and obsesses over it. And he loves the new pitch clock rules.
Yeah.
He loves it. Because
who's going to complain that, oh, geez, he's going to throw another pitch again?
Right.
Wait, there's no delays in the game? Come on.
But I also think for a fan's perspective, now there's like 3 or 4 tier of fans there. The diehard that aren't going to miss a pitch.
Sure.
The ones that have their own scorecard. The ones that aren't missing any of the action. But in terms of maybe wanting to take a pee, wanting to get your kids some food, what you missed previously was maybe a batter or two, maybe a half inning, where it comes to worst if you have to do all those in one stop. Well, with the pitch clock, man, you're going to be missing like an inning and a half coming back. You go, what the hell happened? Which is, again, a good thing, but I think it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, that's a huge, just one pitcher, Gallegos sent the example, 30 or 45 seconds less time to pitch. I mean, you add that up in a few innings, that's a lot.
A couple years ago, I went to the Winter Hockey Classic when it was in Dallas with my brother and his family.
Pretty sick,
to see
actually.
the Stars play Nashville. He left at the end of the first period to go get some coffee. He missed the entire second period standing in line. He missed the whole period.
That can never happen. That literally should never happen in a sporting event.
Yeah.
Was that at Jerry World?
No, it was at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a 100-year-old stadium, and they had very
infrastructure.
few concession stands and
Right,
bathrooms and everything.
I was gonna say I'd be really surprised if at AT&T Stadium you're having to wait for 20 minutes
No.
with stoppages.
This was the old Cotton Bowl.
I'll revert it back. Sorry, Jackson.
No,
one more
please,
thing.
please,
I
please.
love Chaffetz, love going to SLU games. My one issue is not every concession stand has pretzels. Have you noticed that? So like you got to be on your game looking at the menu because you can. I went there assuming every stand had the same amount of food. So I looked at one stand's menu, it was really long, saw a pretzel that I wanted, but we walked the concourse and found an area that had less people in line. So went up there and waited and asked for a pretzel. Oh, no, so pretzels here. It's just over there.
It seems like there used to be more people walking around the stands selling the stuff.
Now it's not. No
Right.
one.
I guess they got in the white people's way or something. Because it used to be there was a constant stream of people selling pretzels and cotton candy and soda and
Maybe
beer.
cashless has something to do with that. Less people carry
Must be.
cash.
Yeah.
They used to do. They don't even do sodas now. Walking up and down. It's
I don't
strictly
think so.
beer sales.
Yeah.
It's strictly cotton candy. And I think water is with the beer, but I know they don't have Coca-Colas and Sprites in with the beer. I would have noticed that over time. But college, they've never had that. I think maybe they should start implementing some sort
In
of
college games?
Yeah, or at least put like a little stand right next to
lots of little kiosks.
Little kiosks.
Yeah.
They do at the Cardinal game. They have those grab and go sections.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's but that nothing beats the pastrami dog, Doug.
I don't care for pastrami.
You know, I don't know if I've had that.
All beef dog, pastrami, hot pastrami on top of a mountain of hot pastrami, sauerkraut, mustard,
Oh,
onions.
sounds horrible.
Oh, it's
I
incredible.
don't like
Sounds absolutely
sauerkraut.
horrible.
Everything else, I'm down.
You know
can take the
what,
sauerkraut.
what else I don't like on St. Patty's Day is corned beef.
What's your beef with corned
Oh,
beef?
it's terrible.
What about the
Talking about
cabbage?
processed
I wouldn't say
meat that's
terrible.
Garbage. It's horrible.
What about the cabbage?
No good. No. That's just the worst food you can have. Corned beef and cabbage? No thanks. I'll go hungry. That sounds horrible.
See, we don't do that. We do the fish fries every Friday. Because we like hitting up the different municipalities' fish fries. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
But even the corned beef
and cabbage.
I still am hitting up a fish fry tonight and going to just eat fish. I'm not going to eat the corned beef option. I'm with you. It's not.
It's
What about the
terrible.
cabbage?
I don't like cabbage at all, bro. The smell. I can't do hot leaf.
Hot leafy vegetables.
I can't do, like
Hot
Brussels sprouts. They just smell like god awful ass. And I know
Oh.
they're good. I know they're healthy. I know you can make them great.
Yeah.
Madison does. But our whole kitchen smells like a damn humid jungle. Like it's like I'm so sick of heated up veggies. I'm done with it. Outside of peppers, they're cold.
You're done with vegetables just in general? That's probably not a good nutritional strategy.
But you smoke that hot leaf.
Well, I guess, Jackson, you kind of put me in my point there. I got to eat crow.
Yeah.
But the smell of like steamed, I don't know, trees. It's like
Steamed trees.
Hot lettuce. You don't like hot lettuce?
I don't like hot lettuce,
How
bro.
about spinach leaves? You know, you can drop them in a stew or a
flash
soup or
fries.
something.
You know, I like spinach, but I like spinach as a base to a salad. So I don't like it hot, but I do
think
like
it's better than
spinach as like spinach leaves as like a base to it. Because I hate romaine lettuce. Hate romaine and leaf
It's
lettuce.
just water.
That's the problem. I need me some mixed greens,
Do you?
or I need me some spinach.
What about field greens?
What
I don't
the hell
mind
is a
field greens if they got to be thinly chopped, and I like a Caesar salad, but I don't want to get a forkful and just have this half of a head of piece of lettuce covered in dressing and try to maneuver through that with a huge crunchy spot.
You shouldn't have to do with that.
I'm very picky when it comes to my salads.
Doug, would you rather have foreskin stew or corned beef and cabbage?
Corned beef and cabbage. Is there not another Irish-themed dish that I can order on St. Patty's
There's
Day that's
several.
not corned beef and cabbage? That's it.
I don't know, but you should just order the corned beef and cabbage.
I know potatoes are big in potatoes.
The cabbage, it really freaks me out Because, like, what should be cold isn't. What shouldn't be seasoned is.
No. I don't know.
It's like a coleslaw that you microwave for like 45 seconds. Imagine eating that.
Why does Irish cuisine have to be so bland, so not tasty?
But
You know what else? You know what? German food's not very good either.
But
You
it's
don't like
hearty.
Wiener Schnitzel?
What do you want? Sausage or sausage? I don't want sausage.
I'm a big fan of German food, but it's way too hearty. Like,
Too
I mean,
thick? You mean too heavy?
yeah, like you eat one sausage and a piece of bread, and I am just bloated as God all hell. Like,
I don't like
It's just a
German
little bit
food.
too thick.
Bratwurst?
Oh, love brats,
It's like
man.
it's like glorified hot dog is all it is.
Wow.
I mean, if I'm really hungry, I'll have a bratwurst, but it's a glorified hot dog.
I got to put my foot down with this hot dog
Oh,
brat
really?
take. They're completely different. Oh, brats are so good. Mustard, relish on a brat.
Tastes like a good hot dog is all.
Shepherd's pie, or Doug, I can give you an Irish cream. I don't think I can. Finish
What in the
that
world is he
sentence.
talking about?
That comes from Color Buzz.
Shepherd's pie.
I love shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's
Is that meat in a pie?
So it's on the base is like either beef or lamb or some variation of that.
Ooh, lamb would be good.
With like vegetables like onions, carrots, and peas, and like gravy, and on top of it is mashed potatoes, like cheesy mashed potatoes.
Okay, I could get
really
on.
good.
I could
It's
literally.
really
get-
that, yeah.
So it's basically like your entire Thanksgiving feast on a plate.
No turkey.
Just jammed
Kind of
into
just
one.
like because I like doing that, mixing it all in one.
But it's like a different kind of gravy and like and it's like beef and lamb, not necessarily turkey. But yeah, it's same idea. It's just beef and mashed potatoes, just all on top of each other.
Right.
It's really good. Doug, if you don't want corned beef today, you can have my Irish ass.
Oh,
That's
it's-
from
spot him down.
That's Father Brown Eye, though. He's a
Oh,
member
you
of the
wouldn't
cloth.
expect that from a gentleman of the cloth.
Have you been to maybe a dinner or know somebody that they're mashed potatoes, so there's a set gravy bowl for mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like a gravy boat. You have the option to use the ladle or the big pour. Kind of had that pouring ability.
Yeah.
I know people that will pour gravy on all of the food that are on the plate, not just you don't. I make a little indention in my potatoes for the gravy.
Sure. A little reservoir.
Thank you, Doug. I'm thinking of the right term. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But like I see people that will just put them in the reservoir, but also will just kind of like syrup, just kind of just douse the entire point. I think it's a good move, but I've never done it.
If you're looking to pour on extra calories, sure. Extra empty calories.
And cholesterol, Doug. Hey, Doug, if you want to keep bitching about Irish food, live in a less fat region. We have Baseball, the Arch, and Cased Meats. If you don't like it, go live in Seattle, hippie.
Oh.
That is true. We are.
I'm not a hippie. Never was one.
This city is ingrained in meats and fats.
Hey, guys.
And I love it.
Hey, guys, I'm going to have some Reubens and Irish car bombs today. Yeah, Doug, how about a Reuben?
No, thanks.
Just cover in sauerkraut.
No, I don't like that kind of food.
If you want an option, a secondary option, which me and Madison are going next week, is Andrea's Steakhouse. I need to do a Weaves. I know we're getting close.
Yeah.
We're going there next week. We just had pork chops with the lovely barbecue sauce.
How was it?
Pretty good. Let's hear Tim. See what he has to say.
Man, oh man, that Andrea's barbecue sauce. I mean, listen, you got Andrea's Steakhouse, you got the steak sauce, and you can find out all about it at andreas.com. But I want to tell the people about this Andrea's barbecue sauce. Holy cow, I have no idea what they put in it. But Max and Rebecca, they have a winner with that barbecue sauce, and you can get it at andreas.com or check it out at your local Deerbergs or Schnuck store. And here is another great thing Andrea's is doing, their Kentucky Derby Social. It's taking place Saturday, May 6th at 4:30 p.m. They will have a heavy appetizer grazing station, endless mint juleps, and a bourbon tasting station. And it's all taking place at Andrea's. Well, the photo booth, best dress contest, 50-50 drawing, and much more with a free play derby competition. So check it out. The dress code is traditional Kentucky Derby attire. It's a great place to hang out. It's Andrea's online at andreas.com.
That's Andrea.
Well, it does
What a
sound
weave.
good.
Yeah, that
Does
was really
sound
nice.
tasty.
Really tasty. Doug, put my German sausage. No, I don't think I can say that.
No.
Who's your daddy? Man.
No, it's kind of fun to go to big German restaurants.
Yeah,
there's
Oktoberfest or
some
something.
atmosphere there, but I just don't know what to order.
What is your favorite?
Schnitzel? I don't think so.
What is your favorite food? Are you American? Are you more Italian, Chinese? You like Mexican? What Mediterranean?
Well, now in my old age, I just kind of like to eat healthy. I like to eat like grilled chicken and the Mediterranean diet, I guess,
Yeah,
as much as
like
anything.
great
The
fish and
Mediterranean
love
one
great
is
food.
very healthy.
Yeah.
Extremely healthy.
I'm big into Greek food. You know what's always interesting to me, like most Chinese dishes or countries of Asian dishes, like not a lot of cheese on the food. No, like Chinese food, like crab rangoon, but that's like Americanized.
If you get
Chinese
the
food.
MSG out of there, most of it's pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of it's fried. Like General Tso's chickens, with or without waffle fries, is just fried chicken with sauce on it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think it's interesting though. Like, rarely do you see like cheese on something. Whereas like every other culture, like Greek, Italian, Mexican, it almost always has cheese on it.
But seafood is universally the best, right? Like I guess I'm just
I think you're being on an island with that. A lot of people don't like seafood.
because you can eat. There's a ton of different fish variations and a ton of things you can do with that. You got a ton of appetizer options with shrimp. Even go to the soup realm, Doug. Shrimp bisque. You have a scallop mushroom risotto. You have all of the variations. Seafood is the best.
But I'm not eating an octopus tentacle.
Okay, I didn't say you had to eat everything in the ocean.
Okay.
But seafood, to me, what I like, everything seems to come back to fish, seafood, things in the sea. And
Nothing better than salmon.
there isn't. We do that. We just do our air fryer. We do frozen salmon from Aldi.
Yeah.
Put it in the air fryer.
How long?
We do. We coat it with olive oil and a little seasoning.
Yeah.
Could put it in there for 15, 20 minutes.
How is
it's
it?
unbelievable.
Is it now?
Typically, we cut it up, put it in salad. But I'm telling you, salmon's very versatile.
Yeah.
I don't like seafood.
You don't?
I
Even
think
salmon?
you told me that.
Salmon is like the fishiest of the seafoods. I don't like the fish.
Halibut is very fishy, and so are scallops. Scallops are my favorite, but those are.
I like
scallop.
shrimp, like crustaceans, like shrimp.
That's a cockroach of the sea.
Right, or lobster or crab. Like that's because it's got kind of that sweet flavor, and if it's fresh, it shouldn't taste anything like fish. But like salmon, tuna, not really my thing.
That salmon sashimi.
Oh, sashimi.
It's raw, raw
Now, I
salmon.
did have sushi.
Oh.
I did have sushi when we were in Jamaica, and I did like it. But that's surrounded by rice and other stuff.
Yeah.
And sauce
You had like
on
the
top of
tempura,
it.
like the fried.
Well, it wasn't even that. It
tempura.
was just like it was just surrounded by rice and sauce. That's kind of all you.
That was really the first time I'd ever had a lot of sushi too.
Really?
And I really liked it. And I've gone to the grocery store and ordered more since.
Have you?
Since we
You
got
enjoyed
back.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Because you don't feel so filled up and
right.
bloated and
Feels a little more high class too. You eat it with chopsticks or your hands. I don't know. It feels some.
Doug, you should join myself and Madison in Imperial for some Fuji sushi. I'm not kidding.
I'm down there all the time.
It really is like the closest I've found to like the soy style sushi that we have. Like just, I mean, that's phenomenal. Hard to replicate fresh fish in Florida compared to St. Louis, but woo, Imperial got it. Oh, Doug, you would love it.
I don't know what this has to do with anything, but Doug, if you want to squeeze into some jockey shorts, you can ride me like a derby horse. It's from Suckboy
Who
Tony.
would have said that?
Suckboy Tony.
The Suckboy from Soulard.
Yeah. Jackson, cod and swordfish are good for boys who don't like seafood. It tastes very meaty compared to tilapia or salmon. I have had swordfish, and cod is like what any fish sandwich, like fried fish sandwich is cod, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I've had that. And I've had swordfish too, and it wasn't bad. Like I said, I had shark. I think swordfish is kind of similar to shark in that way. Where it's,
You'd like mahi mahi?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I think that might
I'm
be.
open to doing it. I think it has to be fresh, like because I hear the fresher it is, the less fishy it tastes, and so
Don't be a fresh fish snob.
I don't want to be, but like I'm trying to.
It's going to be frozen almost everywhere.
But it needs to have a nice glaze. Like the real
Doesn't
key
have
to a
the glaze.
fish, outside of a salmon. Salmon you could just, but the fish does, you kind of put that glaze or whatever sauce they have. That is.
Oh man.
Like a snapper.
Oh, Lord,
Nelly,
yeah.
snapper, red snapper.
So Plazzy, seafood is your favorite type of food?
Oh, it's king. It's king. Italian, very close. Chinese, very close after that.
Yeah, I think Italian's my number one.
I never get in the mood for Mexican. That's Madison's favorite. Love the margaritas. I never get in the mood of it, but I always seem to eat it and enjoy it. But it's never like when I'm hungry, I go,
It seems
I'm
like
going to the
it seems
Mexican
like the
restaurant.
same food, just in different forms.
A lot of them are very similar, and at least the menu of what they offer. But it's still always good. I never disappointed, but it's never my top 2 or 3 option when we're thinking about going to get food.
My dad keeps texting me that it's not him or my family's fault that I don't like seafood. That they tried to make me eat seafood.
Well,
I didn't
why
like
didn't
it.
you take I know your family
I
was
didn't
right.
like the. I didn't
It's
like
so
the
good for
fishy
you,
taste.
too.
So amazing.
I know. Trust me. Like, because all I eat now is grilled chicken, because that's like the healthiest of the land meats.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
and,
Land meats.
I wish I liked tuna because it's even healthier because there's less cholesterol.
But some mercury.
Sure, a little bit, but as long as you're not eating like pounds of tuna, you should be okay. But I want to eat fish. I want to, but the fish, I don't know. It's like as soon as it hits my mouth, my palate, I can't handle it. Maybe I'm weak in that sense, but I did try lobster for the first time in Jamaica. I tried sushi.
You'd never had lobster before?
That's like the best meal on the planet. You can give me some butter and lobster, and I could probably eat until I'm dead.
Right. So I'm trying to expand my palate. Just give me some time.
Okay. I didn't like vegetables when I was your age.
Yeah. Really?
No vegetables crossed these lips until I was about 30 years old.
I think that's when I started too. Mushrooms heavy, peppers heavy.
Cauliflower?
No, I didn't want any of it.
We do. I can only do deep.
I still can't eat anything in a
I can
pot.
only do deep fried cauliflower. I can do peas. I can do anything in a pod.
Yeah.
Dude,
I draw the line at
buffalo
peas.
deep fried cauliflower. Oh, flame.
So do you not like peanuts either, Doug?
Peanuts are fine.
That's kind of in the pod.
Well, it's just peas. No thanks.
Remember, we were eating in Florida, and it was I forgot what fish it was called. It wasn't your typical fish, and he really was pumping it up, hyping it up, and then we do a quick Google search.
Mm-hmm.
And thing was like the most mercury-filled fish in the ocean.
Isn't tuna have the most mercury?
I don't know.
What was this fish? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
when we're like, wow, you're going to try to kill us.
And they acted like we were idiots because we didn't know what kind of style. Was it style fish?
I thought it started. Oh, man, you're close.
Tile
fish.
Tile fish, yeah.
Thank you, Doug.
Was it was that in the boiled food pot at the breakfast buffet?
No.
This was years before the steamed food.
No, it was boiled.
Boiled food.
Boiled food. Thank you.
We messed up not getting the boiled.
I should have. I really should.
Just for the story alone, just to say what it was. But it's just the card just read boiled food, and Doug and I both.
When I was about 8 or 9 years old, my mother once insisted that I eat the peas, or I wasn't going to get up. It was a clean your plate generation.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Eat the peas. I don't want to eat the peas. And I took a bite and promptly threw up at the kitchen table. And there was a real scene,
It's probably mostly mental.
Elvin wasn't happy with my
I bet
performance.
He was pissed.
Bly was furious, and it was a real scene.
You guys were on horse and carriage 50 years ago, and you can't even eat a thing of peas.
Without literally throwing up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's
left a mark on me.
That's the difference. Like for me, growing up, it was like you kind of got a choice. Where like my dad was always like, no, for dinner there was no choice in dinner. It was what was there on the plate. It was eat that or go hungry.
Well, that's reasonable. Yeah.
It's right, and
you don't ask the kid what they want.
Right.
You tell the kid, here's what's for dinner.
Right. I'm for
Kids aren't in charge. The parents are in charge.
Is discipline the thing, Doug?
Discipline. Discipline is the thing.
Discipline is also the thing. Working with Celebrity Greens, Clubhouse Turf. Install that. Get that working before the J. Junior Memorial Michelob Ultra Fan Page Club Championship. Plus, you can hear a little bit about Celeb Greens.
Sir. Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and it impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. How many times have you hit a great drive only to miss the green, scull a chip, and three-putt your way to a double bogey? While tour players get up and down 2/3 of the time, scratch golfers still only get up and down around half the time. And therefore, the best way to really lower your scores is to improve your short game. And that's why tour players like John Rahm and Max Homa have installed Celebrity Greens in their backyards. Anyone can put down fake turf and call it a putting green, but if you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass-like performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design, whether creating a replica hole like the 12th at Augusta or the 2nd at Bellerive. Clubhouse Turf can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. So call Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens, Golf Digest Best in Golf, and start improving your game today. The number is 314-834-2339. That's 314-834-2339. Or go online at clubhouseturf.com and let them know TMA sent you.
Clubhouse Turf.
And it's going to help you get up and down. How often do you think you get up and down from within 20 yards of the green?
Me?
40% for me, sadly.
40% is good.
I think it's way high. I think that's.
Oh, is it? Okay.
4 out of 10 times you think you're getting up and down.
23 yards out. Oh, okay, yeah.
20 yards out.
I was going to say for myself 25%.
Oh, you're higher than that.
No. Dude, chipping.
You're a better
and
putter
putting,
than you think.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think my number's probably 25, 30%.
Oh, for me, it'd be 5% or lower.
I guess I'm a dog.
I literally
I
three-putt every green. Every green.
I guess I do two-putt a ton. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, I guess 5%.
Yeah, you can't even two-putt. You
yeah.
can't two-putt to do
I guess that sounds about right. 23 yards just sounds like it's like just one of those little bump and runs.
But we could improve that if we just get one of these darn putting greens in our backyard.
In 2019, the average PGA Tour up and down percentage was 59%.
For the best players in the world.
Yeah, so if that gives you,
but when they say up and down, how far away are they talking about?
I don't know. And then scrambling's another thing. There's some of that confused because there's up and down percentage and scrambling percentage.
Like if you're in a sand trap, up and down is tougher for the average person. It doesn't seem to bother the PGA guys much, but
yeah, I mean, I think that
just getting up is nice. If I could just get 2 shots just to get out of the sand, that's not bad.
But the tour average is 59.55%. Those are the best players in the world. Now, to be fair, they're playing mostly harder courses where the greens are tougher and the around the green area is tougher. But if that gives you any perspective on what the amateur players up and down percentage.
If I'm 20 yards out and I can get down in 3 more shots, I'm pretty happy.
But if you think about like how many strokes would show off your game if you upped your up and down percentage by 10%.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you miss the green. If you have a better up and down percentage, you can make those putts from 8 feet in, and you can make that chip to get it there. You shave off 5-6 strokes off your game at least.
And when you're as long off the tee as a guy like I am,
right? Just raw
For
power.
me, it's drive or wedge almost every hole.
Right. The game is getting too easy from you.
Right.
But once you get into 50 yards and in, that's where the challenge starts. Because outside of that, you're ripping them.
Yeah, to be averaging 330 off the tee and still shooting 105, that's there's no excuse.
I bet there are people out there like that who are just monsters. Before we get to the designer heating and cooling email today, I like this question. What are your thoughts on blue cheese? I say it's garbage. You guys like
it's
blue
absolutely
cheese?
trash. And I love cheese. I'm a cheese guy at heart. But it's too, I don't know, a lot of cheeses are, good because they've sit out and they're quote unquote moldy or whatever.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to the process of blue cheese that makes it get like that. It reminds me so much that it's like moldy cheese. I'm not in on it.
It tastes like laundry detergent.
Yeah, it smells terrible too, man. It's got a BO smell.
Oh.
You like it, Doug?
I don't mind it. I don't eat a lot of cheese anymore.
Damn,
that's
really good.
If you cut cheese out of your diet, you'd probably really be doing yourself a favor.
I actually I feel like if you were to just on outside of some Italian food, kind of like some dishes need cheese. But like if you just had a burger without cheese, or you had something like a sandwich without cheese, or just you started slowly taking cheese out of things, I bet you wouldn't even really notice.
No,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you'd save a lot of calories.
Like a salad, I don't need necessarily cheese in my salad.
We shred cheese. We have 3 cheese shredders. That's how often we are shredding
Stop with the shredding.
We put it on everything, I feel like. It'd be tough for me to put cheese out of my diet. I'll eat Munster cheese, like a chunk of it. Just eat it.
I like Munster cheese.
How about Limburger?
I don't need a stank.
Oh.
Not that much of it. Not eating it raw right out, like not on a sandwich, just eating it.
How about American cheese? One of those little
Can't do American.
pieces that you pull out of the plastic.
I like those.
I can't eat that. No, I need to make my own wedges. I can't do the Kraft thing. I can't do anything in that plastic.
You just peel that bad boy.
Nah.
It's just glue, but it's delicious.
Well, I'm a rare one. I hate mac and cheese. I think mac and cheese
Really?
is
I don't like it either.
horrible.
I don't need it.
And I eat everything. I know, right? Like I should like that stuff. Easy to make.
How about after the show today, we'll all go to a restaurant. You 2 order mac and cheese, and I'll order the salmon.
Where are we going? Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A doesn't have a terrible mac and cheese.
I'm not ordering mac and cheese ever. At any point in my lifetime, I'm not going to a restaurant to order macaroni and cheese.
Me and Doug are
Why are you
aligned.
looking down?
That's like what you'd eat if you're homeless.
We're
isn't
hardly
it?
ever aligned in food. But right now, today, we are.
It's just like putting glue in your veins or something. I don't want that.
Well, let me glue your veins with Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. I was worried about no Tim, but you put everything you had in today's show. And that's what it's about, right? Until the last minute, you guys did that. You didn't stop until the last second. You didn't stop. And that is so inspiring. So you keep playing with that chin up, shoulders back, because you showed the world who you are. I mean, literally, what you have done is in historic proportion. I was listening back in the day, and we were just happy that there was a show, much less getting to this place. And I see lemmings literally all over Jefferson County. And we've been talking about you, the team. You make us so proud. So I know you may not be feeling great right now, but you know who you are. You are excellence, you are hard work, you are powerful, and you are winners. So please know that.
Huh.
Basically what I'm saying is fee, fi, fo, fum. I want to stick it in Doug Vaughn's bum.
Okay, that's enough. Who was it?
Who? First name was Dixon, middle initial B, and this is a really long last name, couple syllables. Tween his legs.
Dixon B. Twinislix. I believe it's Swedish. Swedish, I think. And he's been suspended. Suspended a period of 2 days' time. Yes, his name is going into the suspension logule as we speak.
I've always had the tightest and supplest boy canal west of the Mississippi. But with Jackson writhing with anxiety yesterday watching the Tigers, I knew his chocolate sleeve had mine beat.
Don't say chocolate sleeve.
It's a time for me to reflect and ask myself what I can do better, to be tighter, to be more rewarding. I just need my dung tunnel to be perfect for Doug so I don't disappoint him again. From Danny Tanner.
Oh, Danny Tanner. Don't say dung tunnel.
It is a bad term.
Yes.
I'm going to try to sing here because I feel like this is a singing email. Oh, Dougie boy, the pipes are clogging from stall to stall down the top of the tank. The TP's gone and all me toes are tapping. 'Tis you must go and my arse stank.
Oh.
Happy St. Patty's Days, boys. The spirit of St. Pat himself just drove some mud snakes out of me bum. Also, where is Tim? That's from the Dogtown Astro.
Just awful. Dogtown Astro van. Now, we talked a lot of college basketball, and these are the emails we're getting now? You got to be kidding me.
If the members of the TMA Days continue to leave the show at this rate, there'll be no one left to host the show at all. Iggy seems to have caught the plague. Tim fled to a different state, and Doug is moving back to TV full time. That only leaves Darren and Rick, and I doubt many people will tune in to hear Pepper and Pringle show just to hear Jackson talk to himself about the NBA while Plowsy scrolls Twitter and plays 2 drops per show. I need to clear up something about Merkel's boner. That was a notorious base running mistake committed by rookie Fred Merkel of the New York Baseball Giants in the game against the Chicago Cubs in September of 1908. Merkel failed to advance to second base on what should have been a game-winning hit, which led to a forced play at second.
That's what I said.
The game ended in a tie, and the Cubs later won the makeup game, which proved decisive as they finished 1 game ahead of the Giants to win the pennant.
Yeah.
Merkel's boner is a little different than my boner, which is rock hard for Jackson's milky white skin and wispy hair after watching him root on the Fighting Tigers against the Aggies of Utah State. It was nice to see Jackie Boy's enthusiasm while I watched the game on television. Now, the TV was not visible to me, so I guess I had to guess what was happening in the actual game as I watched his reactions. Still cool. Great show today, boys. Keep up the good work from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach. Maybe next time you ought to have a second TV right over your shoulder so people watching you can see it.
You can't show the game. You can't show the game on a stream.
I had people in the stream complaining, like, show the game. I was like, are you, I apologize to people that, but that is, TNT and Turner pays millions and millions of dollars.
You really think they'd sue you?
Dude, it's the first class you take in journalism school.
Yeah, you can't.
Is taping yourself watching a game. Be careful.
Not to that extent, but to actually, broadcast. I like the W in Utah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Nice of Tim to call in from the bathhouse on his vacation to break down
what it sounded
Missouri's round of 32 matchup with Princeton. Meanwhile, Ken has called in sick for the 3rd day in a row, presumably as he tries to score tickets to The Cure, which are going on sale to the general public this morning at 10 a.m. Credit Jackson for putting himself out there for an unpaid Camboy sesh where he was emotionally vulnerable. By contrast, Iggy is so nervous about these Cure tickets that he needs to take an extended sabbatical from his highly stressful job of hijacking conversations and taking smoke breaks. Plowsy is crestfallen over the Illinois loss, and he still managed to come into work. Shake it off, Darren. We all knew this Illini bunch was going nowhere. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, fire up a bowl, and start pregame for that Battlehawks game that starts in 33 hours. Woody Allen once said 90% of success is showing up, and by that definition, the Bottom Dogs had a successful show talking about boners, whack-it bitches, and hemorrhoid donuts. That comes from Buck Swope.
Nice little email, Buck. Buck Swope. Pleasant little email.
Final email of the day for today. Crap show today, boys. The good news is the Dogs game is going to be awesome. Glocky the mascot is doing a meet and greet this morning at the cash checking kiosk off Market. Come on out for a chance to take a photo with Glocky and his little buddy Brassy Knuckles. Woof woof. Thanks. It's from Hey Barry.
Okay. Hey Barry.
Glocky is a great, and that's by me. Great.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If Murder City is a name. Glocky, gotta be the man.
Well, we had plenty of emails today, Doug. What you got?
Well, so many of them were vile, but Buck Swope's was not.
It was a nice little email.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buck Swope is my selection.
I'm going to go just based on the term dung tunnel. I'm going to go for Danny Tanner.
I didn't like that.
I think Buck was very positive. So I'm going to go Buck Swope.
Buck Swope wins.
We'll give Swope today.
He is tied up the March email the day standings as we sit here on March 17th.
He's become a regular. He didn't used to email regularly.
Yeah, now he's every day. Buck Swope has 3 wins in the month of Botch, with Hayberry and Ghost Rider to the Stars tied with him at the top. Kevin Miller with 2 wins. Pronouns are he, him, and whole, and just the guy in a trench coat with a pocket full of batteries. Each have 1 win apiece. That's going to do it for today's presentation.
Do you have to do a balloon party?
No. I'm not on 101 ESPN, but back on Monday on 101 ESPN and on this show. Should have the full day. So we'll have Tim. Hopefully Iggy starts feeling better and will be with us on Monday. And then we'll just continue to bring heat and hopefully be talking about Missouri going to the Sweet 16.
Where would they play? What city?
I don't know.
Because I think you probably ought to go there and be our correspondent. You ought to get a media credential. It's probably too late.
Yeah.
If you play Furman, if you're lucky enough maybe to.
I think the game would be against Baywa or Creighton, most likely, unless some miracle is pulled off.
Okay.
That's the current state of affairs. That tips up at 5:10. We got the Battlehawks Dogs. A lot for you on Monday morning as we come back. But that's going to close out today's presentation. Have a great weekend, St. Louis. Have a great weekend, boys. And we'll be back on Monday. That's going to close out the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Have you been thinking about buying a home, but you're sitting on the